Welcome to Bad Dice, the UK's first Warhammer Fantasy Battle podcast. We bring you news, reviews and updates from all around the UK tournament scene. Your hosts are Ben Curry and Ben Johnson. We hope you enjoy the show, and if you do, be sure to let us know. You can contact us on thebens@baddice.co.uk or leave a positive review on iTunes. Welcome to episode 36 of the Bad Dice podcast. I'm your host, Ben Curry.
I'm the monkey in the corner, Ben Johnson.
And this time we're fresh from another tournament again. So we've got the Tempest Rising tournament to talk about. But before we get into that, we've got our sponsors to give a shout out to. So first off, we've got a brand new sponsor. He's sponsoring a banner on the website, and he also wants a shout out on the show. So this is Madfly Art Painting Studios. You can check them out at madfly-art.com. They're from Poland. Now, they do 3 different quality levels to choose from, so you can either go in for the top quality Golden Demon stuff, or you can go in at just the army painting or somewhere in between. They've got many discounts from whether it's army painting or preparations or anything like that. Also, you can buy your miniatures from them. They do the lowest possible shipping rates or even free shipping if you're a regular customer. And they'll also give you advice on colour schemes, details about what you want on the models, like what highlights to have here and there, you know what I mean, what colours to do, bits and bobs, and yeah, all that stuff. So the full package. So you can check out the gallery on the website for all the pro-painted miniatures, and it's madflyart.com. Yeah.
Very nice.
You've had a look on the website, yeah?
I had a quick scout of it today, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, not bad.
Good stuff. And
Not bad at all.
they've got a blog there, so if you want to check out the latest Warhammer news, you can have a look at that sort of stuff, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So our other sponsors are Odd Games. As per usual, they've sponsored us for quite a while now, so check them out. If you want to buy pretty much anything wargaming related, you can get it from Odd Games. That's oddgames.co.uk. And then Rankings HQ. Obviously, they run the UK rankings. And yeah, another sponsor. And last but not least, Ben.
Unseen Lurker.
Good boy, you remembered this time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Unseen Lurker. So they do issue 3 of the magazine's coming out this week, I think. They've been posted today.
It's very short. Well, we had a quick look at the bonus copy. The bonus copy? Preview copy.
Yeah, they had a
preview
copy at the weekend. Just printed off on the laptop and put in a folder, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So looking good. So we'll talk about that in more depth when we get the issue. So yeah, check out Unseen Lurker magazine. Just Google them, Unseen Lurker with an E. Okay, so moving on to news. What's the news?
Demons. The email went around a couple of weeks ago, didn't it? That there was some new demons coming out, and then the pictures have appeared on the internet. They appear to have been put up by mistake.
Yeah, well, the incoming went out, didn't it? It was literally demons incoming.
That's it. And then somebody seems to have found some photos of some new stuff on a 40k Tactica page.
Yeah, which had
on the
nothing,
Games Workshop website.
Absolutely no mention of the new demons or anything like that. They're just some pictures used as if they were generic pictures in an article. And we have, they're pretty good, aren't they?
They are very good. We've got a Kairos, which is very dark crystally. Someone described it to me at the weekend.
I think it looks a lot like the Forge World one, shrunk, rather than the current Lord of Change.
Sure. It looks very different to the current one. It does look a bit biffed up, which it's kind of supposed to. I'm not mega keen. I like it, but I was really hoping for a bit more.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I don't know. You'd have thought it still looks like a normal Lord of Change to me, kind of big and strong.
It doesn't in comparison to the current one. It does look a bit puny and a bit weak. But I did expect him to be a bit more biffed up. I mean, to be honest with you, we've got one photo.
Yeah.
So again, opinions can change. And
I was wondering why he's got a fish on top of his staff. Now, I was going to get the Demon Book out and have a read of the fluff for Kairos, but
everybody needs a fish.
I didn't get around to it, and I just thought, why do you need a reason to have a fish?
Yeah.
So
fish on a stick. No,
yeah.
To be honest with you, from what I remember of the artwork in the Demon book, it does look very similar to the John Blanche picture.
Yeah.
The whole figure does.
I do like the detail on the faces, with one of them sort of looking down as if he's
Yeah.
deep in thought, and the other one looking at to see what's going on around him. Okay, so Corn Herald on a Juggernaut, apparently in plastic.
Apparently plastic, yeah. I mean, it does. The only real difference I can see is it seems to have the plastic champion head, and the chain where it holds on around its neck seems to be quite chunkier, which I assume is a result of it being in plastic and the moulding process. Other than that, it's almost identical to the metal one, which is a very nice figure.
Yeah, looks awesome. I really like it. And
Yeah.
the plastic ones of them, it's got to be good. They must have been selling that many over the years. Corn Herald have broken. They
Yes.
thought, well, we'll turn them out in plastic.
Well, yeah, why not?
Okay, so what next? Demon Prince. Demon Prince has been knocking around for a long, long time in some various guises of, particularly the fantasy ones. This one looks like it's kitted out for 40k. I mean, it's on a round base.
It's in the Warriors book, isn't it? The one with wings, and I think there's one on foot as well, isn't there, in the Warriors book?
Yeah.
And this guy's been kicking about Chaos Space Marine. I don't know if it won't be in the Army book because it's quite old, isn't it? But I've certainly seen it before, and it seems to be getting a release date now. So we've also got Seekers, plastic Seekers, which have been the resins of them were on the internet for quite some time, weren't they?
Yeah.
The red ones.
Now, I really like these. I don't know if it's the models, but I really like the paint job, the colour scheme.
I think there's potential as they stand. Again, we've got one photo which maybe
one photo
maybe
of three
doesn't
different
do them
models.
justice.
They're looking very serpent-like, not so comedy as the...
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. There's sort of a mix between the last ones and the ones before, aren't they?
Yes. They don't look as quick and as nimble as the old metal ones. But again, plastic, so Jesus, there's limited possibilities with them.
Yeah, so obviously you can mix parts of these with parts of the current Demonettes, and there's like new heads on these which aren't on the Demonette sprues, and different arms and stuff. So yeah, you can soon mix them around. But yeah, I do like them. I think they look really good.
Next is Plastic Horrors.
Yeah, plastic.
Maybe people's worst nightmare. I wonder what Plastic Horrors do to the sale of ghouls.
Well, there's been a lot of bad press about these on the internet. From the forums have gone mad about them, saying they look rubbish and all that. But I think they look really good. They remind me of Slimer.
The one on the left is definitely Slimer. Again, there's in the photo there's two of them on 40k bases, so it'd be interesting to see them ranked with a command group in and how that would look. But again,
what is interesting, they've both got 3 arms.
They do have 3 arms, you're right.
Yeah.
And very long tails.
Yeah, one of them's got a beak, both got big tails. Oh, they have. I'd not noticed the tails. I thought they were sort of backs to the heads, but no, I could see that now.
I like them, I'll be honest with you. They don't instantly jump out on me, but I do like them. And again, the potential there of plastic is bloody massive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And last, but certainly not least, both of our favourites, I think.
Without a doubt. One of my favourite figures I've ever done.
The Changeling.
Yeah.
And the paint job on it's just stunning.
Yep.
The figure's just, it's like a twisted robe with the cowl of the robe around its head. It's just dark. There's no face in it. It's got one arm coming out one side, holding a staff with a beaked skull on the end of it. Its other arm, there's 3 arms, carrying fire.
Yeah.
Fire's always good, isn't it?
Can't go wrong with a bit of fire.
So yeah, it's just, I really, really like it. It's absolutely stunning figure. I can't wait to get one of these and paint it. And the other thing is the amount of things you could use it for.
Oh, it's got really leash priest, necromancer, anything written all over it.
Yeah, definitely. It won't take much to chop some of the arms off, use it as a chaos sorcerer, or use it with a chaos sorcerer with the arms. An elf sorcerer, you know what I mean? Anything. You could use it with absolutely anything. Yeah, stunning. Absolutely stunning.
I think it's up there with Deathmaster Snitch.
Yeah, definitely. I'd give you that.
Like it.
Definitely give you that. So if you want to have a look at these photos, they're all on the Bad Dash website, which I suppose is a good time to talk about the Bad Dash website because it's been had a bit of a revamp. So get yourself over to baddice.co.uk, have a look at that, have a look at the pictures. They're all on the homepage at the moment. Well, if you listen to this anytime near the end of May when it's the release date, so you'll be able to find them. Just search the site for Demons of Chaos, and it'll be up there. Okay, so any other news, Ben?
There's a snippet of Dark Eldar stuff, isn't there? Seems to be a teaser poster knocking around the internet, which I'm not sure if it's a new picture or if it's an old picture, because it certainly looks old school.
Yeah, it's definitely old artwork, isn't it? Or a certain old style artwork.
Yeah, it just says they're coming 2010.
Yeah, and that's it.
I mean, again, we don't play 40k, but I know people have been waiting for Dark Eldar for a decade.
And you get, with the last Dark Eldar, you saw a lot of conversions with Dark Elves going Dark Eldar route and using bits of them.
Yep.
Certainly the Witchers and things like that, and some of the characters. So it'll be interesting to see if you can use any of the new range with the Dark Elves.
You've got to imagine that they're going to get a ruck of plastics.
Yep.
And again, you've also then got to imagine that they're going to be very interchangeable with Dark Elf stuff.
Oh yeah, you'd have thought so.
So combine some of them things with the Corsair kits and the Cold One kits.
Yeah.
Could be brilliant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Any other news?
Nothing I can think of.
No. So, okay, well, White Dwarf should be out soon, so we could deal with that on the next episode. So, Fortnite and Fantasy.
Pretty busy, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
mean...
think nine games this fortnight, so...
Yeah, I reckon so. 6 or 7 at the tournament weekend.
Yeah.
So, go on then. Well, before going to the games, have you done any painting?
No.
You bought a Hellblaster.
Was that not the last week?
You painted it.
Oh yeah. Well, painted it. Threw some paint at it to just to be able to use it at the tournament if I decided to take it. In the end, didn't. So that was £15 well spent.
Yeah, dead good.
Hey ho. Other than that, nothing really. Been, like I say, away for the weekend and for a fair few games in between as well.
Okay, so I mean, not on the playing side, I've done a bit of painting. I've started painting a Vampire Counts army. I've got one lying around, so I thought I'd stop painting it and get it on eBay, basically. So yeah, maybe wait till the new edition hits and then sell it, because I imagine people will just be buy. So
Yeah.
Don't matter if it's any good or not during with the rules. It's just because the new game's out, people will be interested in getting into it. So yeah, that's the vampires I've done a bit on. Not really done anything on my Dark Elves. Put my Wood Elves back together because they've been knocked about a bit. So
yeah,
repaired some of them, and
I did a bit of repairing on my Orcs because that's what I ended up taking to Tempest.
Yep.
So they need a few bits and bobs sticking back on them.
Yeah. Okay, so gaming. What you doing on the gaming side?
Well, I played Adam a week last Thursday, practicing Tempest. We both were, and that was a draw in the end. And we both weren't happy with our armies.
So what was Adam using?
Demons.
Yeah.
But again, he wasn't quite happy with it. So, I mean, it was the 4 Herald list, but again, it's trying to get used to how the comp is, because it was very, very different, wasn't it, at Tempest? So yeah, neither of us were quite happy with how it was working. We both sort of went back to the drawing board, as it were. So,
okay, well, I think the same night as you played Adam, I played Greg that same night, didn't I? Down at Warhammer World?
No, this was at Derby, wasn't it? On Thursday, you played Tom.
Oh right, yeah,
Tom
sorry,
Mosley.
you're right. You played Adam, I played Tom Mosley. Tom came down second time now. He's nipped over, hasn't he? So yeah, he brought his lizard men. Tom hadn't read the rules pack. He'd be to the event, but he just hadn't read it because he knew he didn't have to write an army list in advance. He hadn't bothered. He just thought he'd turn up with his Wood Elves on the day because he had an idea of using at the tournament. He was actually going to use 35 Eternal Guard in one unit, so he thought there's no need trying to play with that. It'd just be a bit of fun on the weekend. Whereas down to Derby, but his lizard men basically stuck him in a case, turned up, got his rules back out, got his army out. 20 minutes trying to write a list.
More than 20 minutes, wasn't
I had
it?
about 3 pints while I was waiting for him. And yeah, off we went. I used my Wood Elves. I used the same. In fact, it was the dead same list as what I used at the Tempest Rising. So it was a level 4 with 2 scrolls and the Heartstone, a BSB with nothing. So characters with 410 points, dead cheap. My core units were 3 units of bowmen with standards, because they had to have standards to capture table quarters, so it's worth sticking them in.
And capture banners.
And to capture banners, yeah. 3 units of 8 dryads, just because they're pretty good. 2 units of wild riders, one's a 5, one's a 6, and the 6 has a war banner. They both have standards. 2 units of war dancers, one on a 7 with a musician, and the other just a 5, which is just to sit and hold hands with a BSB and the level 4. And then we had a tree man and something I've never used in a Wood Elf army before, an eagle. So I've used some characters riding on eagles, but I've never just used an eagle because I swear by the Way Watchers.
Oh, the Way Watchers are golden, aren't
they? But you couldn't have the shooting cat was 35 shots a turn, and because the wizard carries a bow and there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop her carrying it, you can't make her a glamour weave because she keeps it, can't do anything with it. I was really excited. I thought, yeah, I can make her a glamour weave and she won't have a bow anymore. And it's like, oh, no, she can still have a bow when she's a dryad.
Yeah, because she has to be mounted, doesn't she?
Yeah. So that was, went with the 3 bowmen instead of the Way Watchers, and I think it was the right decision, mainly for the table quarters.
Yeah.
Tom took a Slan. He had an Stegadon Ancient, 2 Mounted Scar Veterans, 2 units of Saurus Warriors, 3 units of Blowpipe Skinks, 2 units of Pterodons. I think that's about it. 1 Salamander. And it was a bit tit for tat. The dice was horrendous for both of us first few turns. I think we both miscast. I miscast, used a reroll for my Heartstone and still miscast.
Nice.
Gave him Conflag or something and scrolled it. Then in my turn, same again, I got a scroll off him, and then he got another scroll off me in his next turn with the blood statue. And then, it was really, nothing was happening, nothing was dying, none of us could roll any dice. Then all of a sudden, my tree man sort of got around and flanked some stuff with some movement spells, and in he went. He fried a whole unit of archers with Conflag. Killed all 12 of them. All 10 of them with 1 Conflag. But yeah, it was a bit, I don't know, I picked off some of his shit. He didn't really kill any of mine. Everything went on one left flank. I was quite surprised because the terrain was like, I put my 3 wood down behind a hill because I didn't want him just streaming over the hill.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I put a wood there, then he'll get over the hill and there were men in the woods. And he sort of just went right to the extreme left, which there was like, he had sort of like 2 foot of board to play in. And I was quite happy with that because it sort of compacted him and I could spread out and surround him, which is kind of what the Wood Elves do best.
They are good at that.
So in the end, it was a big win to me. I was up by about 700 points. I got the Ancient Stag. I got 1.5 Scar Veterans, I think. And the Saurus Cav kept going stupid, and then I Beast Cowered them, and then they go stupid again. And it was just a strange game. But it was a good game. We enjoyed ourselves. It took us about 4 hours messing about, drinking and whatnot. So
yeah, it was good though, isn't it? Nice to do on a club night though. Nice steady game.
Yeah, it was really good fun. It was the first time I had my Wood Elves out in a while as well, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I do like using my Wood Elves. It's just don't like using them against anything good. Like demons or Dark Elves.
I think you missed the boat on that then.
Yeah. So then that was a Tuesday night, so the following Thursday was at Warhammer World, wasn't we?
No, that was a Thursday. The following Tuesday we were at Warhammer World.
Oh, I'm rubbish with dates.
Oh, you're just rubbish.
And I played Greg Milne again with Lizard Men. It seems to be everyone wants to play with Wood Elves with the Lizards, and Greg had a sort of just exact opposite to what Tom brought. Instead of loads of skirmishes and stuff, Greg just had 4 units of men. And he just shoved it at me, put them all together, blocked between 2 pieces of terrain, and came straight at me. And it's just hard to get points off.
Yeah.
Same situation with the Stegadon. I got my tree man into it, Beast Cowers and movement spell, whatever. Sorts that out. And not a lot else happened, really. Again, I was up by about 700 points. I didn't really lose an awful lot. I lost 700 points. The Treeman went down in the end, but it took a lot. Just basically, it was old school Treeman action. You know, like when 6th edition was out, the Wood Elves were the king. Nothing would kill the Treeman, and they always seemed to survive. Whereas nowadays, they always die. Yeah. But it was a bit of old school Treeman. Shove it forward, shoot your army at it for 3 turns, and then the Dryads just kill you.
Yeah.
And that's literally what it was. He got off me, 2 units of Dryads, a War Dancer unit, half unit of Wild Riders, Tree Man. I got a couple of table quarters, couple of characters. He had a Scar Veteran on foot as well. Ended up charging him into a War Dancer unit, which when I used to use the Old Blood, I knew that was a mistake. because the weapon skill 5 means you always hit, or weapon skill 6 for the old blood means you're hitting on 4s.
Yeah.
4 ward every other round, and the killing blow, it's as it was. Every
risky.
time I had 4 ward, he did nothing anyway, so I didn't have to make any saves. Sorry, every time I did 4 ward, I made all my saves. Every time I had killing blow, I didn't do it, and he did nothing. He was killing like 1 or 2, which isn't that out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? 4 attacks, 2 hits. One of them doesn't wound, and I save the other. It's not that out of the ordinary. I think it was there for 6 rounds of combat until eventually.
You were outnumbering forever, weren't you?
Yeah, he put a unit of Saurus Warriors into it. There was only like 4 of them after I'd shot him, and he didn't do enough. And I had a break test on about 6 or something, and because he only got like a clip on the corner, he didn't kill any. And then the next turn, I charged something into Saurus. I broke the Saurus, killing blowed the Scar Veteran on that turn as well, and that was a lot of points because it was a banner and all sorts.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good game against Greg. I've not played him for a while, so yeah, enjoyed playing that one.
Nice.
Again, Greg didn't read the comp, so he turns up with a Slan, which was ethereal, knew all the spells, and was ruminating. And you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, right, okay, we've been 2 scrolls, but yeah, it didn't make that much of a difference, to be fair. So yeah, there you go. That's my 2 games in the last fortnight. The other 7 were at the tournament.
Well, while you were playing Greg, I was playing Biggs. And all I've wrote down in my book is loss.
Well, Michael was using my Tomb King army, wasn't
That's
he?
right,
He rang me up and says, I can't be bothered to use my demons. Can I borrow your Tomb Kings? Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he had a king, 2 leashes, 2 units of chariots, unit bowman, unit temple guard, tomb guard.
Yep.
The obligatory skellies.
Yeah, 20
you've got
skellies.
to have skellies with shields.
More than likely, light on my shield.
Yeah. No, what was... Some of them don't count, do they, in the comp?
Oh, no.
Skellies without shields.
No, it's skellies with bows that don't count.
Skellies with bows that don't count. 6 light horsemen, 2 scorpions, a single swarm, and a chucker. I think that was about it.
See, he didn't have the prince, that's where you get all the units from. Because I was struggling writing a list with the 4 characters. And if you drop the prince, you can still sort of abuse the magic, because you can get the bound spell in.
Well, you can't... Can you get the king, 2 leashes, and a prince into the comp? You can.
Yes, you can. But you can't get any bound spells then.
Yeah, and then the problem is you need to take the 160 points worth of skeletons.
Well, you need 40 infantry. Now, normally you'd already take... I say normally you'd take 20, not always. A lot of people would use the 20 Tomb Guard, which that sort of covers 20 of them. So your second unit, in 2,000 points, it's 180 points of skeletons, which is a lot of points in the Tomb King list.
Well, it's essentially swapping the prince for the skellies, isn't it?
Yes.
If you do want to take the prince, you've got to lose 180 points of good stuff. Be it bowman, a scorpion, to get it in.
So I think he made the right choice with losing the prince. It was a good shout.
Yeah. He had 5 carrying as well.
Yeah, and the king was flying, wasn't he?
King flew. I don't know, he didn't get into combat.
Yeah, Flail of Skulls, Cloak of the Dunes, Collar of Spesh.
Yeah, he had Collar of Spesh.
Yeah. And 5 carrying. It's a good list, but it's very finesse. So you can soon get a kicking, can't you?
Yeah, you can. It's a list, like I say, you'd swap the prince for the skeletons, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
And that's the list that's sort of been going around for years.
Yep.
A few little tweaks here, different magic item combo maybe, but essentially that's it. And he just battered me. It was ridiculous. The dice were a bit of a pain in the arse. I made a mistake which cost me a lot of panic tests, which I failed spectacularly. Lost wizard, outriders, cannon, a unit of knights, when 1 unit of knights ran to the edge of the board. And at that point I says, well, should we just start again? And it's like, well, by the time we're done, it'd be a bit late. So I'm, all right, we'll carry on. And he just proceeded just to take the piss, really, for 4 turns.
Yeah.
It was horrible, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And by the end, I was just sort of slumped in my seat, rolling dice, taking men off.
Yeah, and going, I'm taking me orcs.
Yeah, pretty much. That was, I couldn't write a list that I was happy with. I just don't have enough models to make it work.
No.
Well, trying to
You
cram.
could have made a good Empire list, I think, but you do needed some more.
I could
more
have, yeah,
figures.
you could have done. I mean, some guys did. I looked at a few of the Empire lists at the weekend. I thought, yeah, that's
What was in Owen Bell's list? Because I know he finished
men.
best general.
Lots of men.
Was it lots of infantry?
Yeah. He's got swordsman detachments in 9s, which I do quite like.
Yeah, I like that. They're small and there's
They're small. They don't die.
There's enough of them to still take ranks after they've took a shooting volley.
Yeah, that's right. And like I say, I struggle for the amount of men I've got because I've got the shooting stand there Empire Army.
Yeah, and you've not got enough stuff to keep him off you.
No. And like I say as well, we're needing banners to take table quarters and take banners. I've got nothing. I've got no banners.
Yeah,
you know
so
what I
you'd have
mean?
had to paint some.
Again, it just means painting. It means
I mean, I
buying.
cheated a bit with mine because I got some wood elf banners, sprayed them brown, painted the ribbon on them a colour, and dipped it all.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could have
and
done
then blue
that.
tacked them on. So.
I could have done that. I could have done that on my crossbow and things like that. But again, pushed me to take the orcs. I mean, I did sort of tweak the Empire list a little bit after playing bigs, but still, no. So
No, you see, I thought the tournament was sort of made for you orcs with the way they'd geared the rules pack, trying to encourage people to bring softer stuff, and to the point that I was thinking of taking you orcs, but I kind of didn't want to break them. So
yeah,
I also kind of wanted to use my wood elves because, like I said, I do enjoy you. I know, to be honest, I took them because they were good in the comp, and because I enjoy using them. It's as much as both. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie and say I didn't know they were that good because I did. I knew they were good in the comp, so I thought, well, it's a good excuse to get my wood elves out because I like using them, and it was. I had one game where I hated them. In fact, I probably had 2 games where I hated them, and then
I had 6.
I had 4-5 games where they were quite good. So I think we're gonna have a. Is that it for your week in Warhammer?
That's it. Other than the tournament.
So we had a pre-show barbecue.
Yes, we did.
Add something to the week in Warhammer. You're on a mission this year, aren't you?
Yes, didn't use the barbecue once last year. It's getting hammered this year.
Every excuse, just cook your tea on it, get your porridge on it.
That's it.
What else have we done? Anything at all?
No.
No. Okay, you rubbish.
Yeah. Sorry,
So,
us people with jobs.
yeah, that's it. Okay, so we'll take a short break, and after the break, we'll come back and talk about Tempest Rising. Do you play 40k? Do you enjoy the dynamic movement and the line of sight flexibility that the game has to offer? Is it the guns and tanks and alien monsters that do it for you? What you need is Warhammer Army's Lizardmen. This army packs enough firepower to decimate your average Land Raider in no time at all. They move and shoot in all directions, and every model is an all-adventure hero. They can even bomb the 10% off a Lizardman army. You also get free shipping to anywhere in the UK. Odd Games also stock a wide range of wargaming products, so be sure to check them out. www.oddgames.co.uk. Okay, so now we're going to go into a coverage of the Tempest Rising tournament of the weekend. So, go on then, Ben. What's Tempest Rising?
It's the first tournament run by the Unseen Lurker guys, which is Bobo. Ches had a hand in it as well.
Yep.
Which I'm not. I don't think he does anything for Unseen Lurker, but hey ho.
No, he's on the contributors list on the first page of the magazine.
Okay, fair enough then.
So Bobo, Ches, Brian. I don't think Brian had a hand in running, but he helped behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's first event they've run, and
first of many by all accounts.
yeah, hopefully they're going to be running quite a few more events. Is always good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was in Stockport at the Northwest Gaming
Marauder Gaming Centre.
Marauder Gaming Centre. Well, the Facebook page says the Northwest Gaming Centre.
Is it?
Was it the Northeast Gaming Centre? Oh, I don't know. It's the Marauder Gaming Centre in Stockport.
That's what I thought it was.
Tom and Darren were on a few episodes ago to come down and talk about it, and told us all the spiel about what it's going to be. And literally, it's pretty much what they said. It's in an old mill, upstairs in the mill. They've got a big floor space where they can have a venue. They've got room to expand. There's a hotel right opposite. Loads of free parking.
Yeah.
Loads of facilities nearby, shops and stuff. Sainsbury's just around the corner. I think some of the guys went for curry on a Saturday night, didn't they? We went to the...
We just ate in the beef eater,
yeah, the beef eater there. So yeah, it's not a bad
it's
location,
not finished.
is it? However, it's not finished.
Yeah.
The launch weekend is this coming weekend, so the tournament that's just gone by was before launch. So
It was like a soft opening, wasn't it?
yeah. So I mean, you walk in, you go upstairs. There's only one sign up which they've only just had fitted. Apparently they're getting some more fitted around the front, so we drove past it the first attempt.
Yeah.
But if you're walking, I think I know you'd have definitely seen it all right. But because I was driving, it was odd spot.
Yeah.
You walk in, and it is literally a wide open area with suspended ceiling, loads of strip lighting, black walls because it used to be a drama studio, which is quite impressive.
I think that's one thing that I think they need to address is the black walls. It can feel a little gloomy. And also as well, I mean, I know it's the hottest weekend of the year, but I think that might have contributed a bit as well.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a sweatbox. I mean, obviously that's
nothing you can do about
that at all.
First time they've got 80 people in there, and
Yeah.
it was red hot. But like I say, it was extraordinarily hot for the UK. Certainly a UK weekend in May.
God, we'll not get another one of them this year.
So yeah, it needs some work, but you can definitely see the potential. I mean,
yeah.
like I say, there was
when you go upstairs, they've got a little shop area, haven't they? Which is nice because it's all open plan. So you're not like walking into a shop and then in the next room is the gaming hall. The shop's like almost one corner of the gaming hall, which is kind of nice.
The other thing is we had 80 players in there, and there's still a row of tables that was not being used because it's still under construction.
Yeah.
There was also a few tables in the shop area which was still set up for demo games and stuff. So they've definitely got room to put more tables in, or to just run at 80 and still have a bit of space.
I think if you tried to squeeze them in, I think you could get 150 players
in that one room.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
I do, yeah. Well, like you say, there was 80 there with a good row and a half spare.
Yep.
Plus the shop area. You might have to rejig things a little bit, but I think you'd squeeze them in. It might be a bit of a squeeze, but you certainly do 100 easy.
Yeah, and I mean the room next door was a kids soft play area.
Yeah,
so
was it the Rumble in the Jungle?
Yeah, so I don't know if that's open at the weekend, so you can go and drop your kids off there and go to play Warhammer.
We never did go in there, did we?
No,
Saturday
we
night.
missed the trick there. But they also had the canteen in there, so at lunchtime both days they fed everyone in there, which was quite nice. You get to sit somewhere away from the gaming. You don't have to sit at your games tables, so there's no dirty dishes all over the place as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there still was a bit of that, but people just wandered around. I know I did for one. First thing they did, grab my food, went around talking and eating.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
So yeah, as a whole, venue sort of needs some work, but you can definitely see the potential. And it didn't really dampen the weekend. Well, it didn't dampen the weekend at all for me. I don't think.
The heat did.
The heat is nothing you can do about that. It's nothing to do with it. They've got 4 big aircon fans. When you stood under one of them, it was awesome.
Yeah, I played under one twice.
Yeah, I played under my last game under one. So yeah, that's the venue. Now, the actual tournament itself. So the rules pack was, like we mentioned before, pretty heavy comp. This is what they were aiming at. They were aiming to bring softer armies, change up what you see on the table. So you've got it in front of you, Ben?
I've got it in front of me. A few examples from it. No more than 35 shots at 20 inches or more. No more than 2 of the same character type. No more than 3 war machines, 3 chariots or units of chariots, including character mounts. I think Beastmen were
Beastmen got a bonus.
exempt from that.
Got one more.
They get one more. 2 units of flyers or anything that flies or has the potential to fly. So things like the Jag Charm would count as a flyer.
Yeah, the Cloak of Twilight as well.
Yeah. It's maximum of 6 dispel dice. Anything that automatically dispels a spell counts as a dispel dice. 7 power dice. I believe your first power stone was free.
No, all power stones counted as 1.
Did they all count as 1? Okay. And then they had the basic grunt rule, where you needed the 40 men.
Yep.
They had to be non-skirmishing infantry, not count towards the shooting cap, and have full command. All command options.
Yeah.
So things like flagellants just needed the profit.
What a lot of people cottoned onto as Warriors of Chaos with Dragon Ogres count as unit strength 3 each.
3 each.
So you can have a unit of 4 of them, that counts as 12.
Yeah.
And they don't need no command or nothing. So
You need a champion.
need a champion, do they? So
Yeah,
2
yeah.
units of 4
You've
of
got
them.
you've got to have the full command options.
Yeah.
And then you also got a rule called chosen men. Certain units within army books were given chosen men status, which meant if you had a unit strength 15 or more of these, you got free full command, or the equivalent of. So if you had unit strength 15 Dragon Ogres, you'd get a free champion. Or would you get a free champion? Were they included in the Warriors book? No. Chosen men for Warriors, Chaos Warriors. Demons were Demonettes. Skaven.
Yeah, every army's got something or other.
Yeah, Skaven were... what were Skaven? Oh, Stormvermin.
Stormvermin for Skaven. So, as you can see, it's pretty hard comp. So
well, especially when you get to the band list as well.
Yeah, everything's banned, all the toys, all the fun.
Yeah, well, Dark Elves, the pendant, the ring, always strikes first, focus familiar, black staff, dagger, Manbane, Rending Stars were mutually exclusive. So yeah, a lot of toys not allowed.
Yeah,
which
I don't know. I don't like that sort of thing, but
I don't either. In fact, I don't like it at all. But
you wanted to go to the event, same reason as I did. It's the first one, support them, see what it's like, and if you don't like it, don't go back. If you do like it, keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll give it a go. And so we turned up on the Friday night. Nice drive up through the Derbyshire countryside.
Oh, that was great.
Into Stockport, and went straight for some food, didn't we? Met up with the Heel and Hammer guys.
That's right.
Martin Furnival.
Fitz and Brian.
Brian. Yeah. A couple of other guys were there with him. Had some food and then went over to the venue to play some Warhammer. And
when you say we had some food, I had an ice cream.
Yeah. So the waitress comes over and it's hot. It's really, really hot.
Really hot.
And I was like, okay, I can go a salad. I'll have a salad. And Ben was like, what's the coldest thing you've got? And the girl goes, ice cream. He's like, I'll have some ice cream. So while we sat and ate all our main courses, Ben ate an ice cream. Oh dear. So
no wrong with that. Ice cream and cider. It's the future.
So we're going to the venue, and I get a game against Brian from Unseen Lurker, and he's got quite a tasty demon army, to be honest. I was
very
rather
tasty.
impressed with it. Although he did crash and burn a bit over the weekend. I think he says he was up until early hours of Friday morning. Then
I was amazed. Yeah.
Then a long drive, and then he just couldn't cope with it. So Sunday was a bit rough on him. So he had a Khorne Herald on a chariot, a Tzeentch Herald on a chariot, and a Slanesh Herald on a chariot, and another Khorne Herald on a Juggernaut. So 4 Heralds, a unit of Flesh Hounds, a unit of Fiends. Can't remember what else. 2 Horrors, Demonettes,
Furies,
Flamers. No Flamers. They had the Flesh Hounds because they didn't get 1 rare. So yeah, demons only get 1 rare. Don't pull faces at me. You just read the rules back.
He had Flesh Hands because you only get what?
He had Flesh Hands.
Right.
Fiends.
Right. I said any Flamers. You said no, he had Flesh Hands.
Oh, sorry, he had Fiends.
Fiends, right, okay.
So yeah, pretty generic, nasty demons with some of the toys taken off them and a few chariots thrown in instead of the normal.
You get quite a lot,
unit
don't
choices. You? Yeah, you do. So I mean, he had a Tzeentch Herald on the chariot, and it was 3 units of horrors he had. So he still had a 7 powerhouse magic phase. So I mean, I deployed, and I'd got a lot more deployments than him. My army's running 13 deployments, so
that's impressive for an elf army.
Yeah, by the time I've put all my shit down, his army's down, so I know I can keep my points away from his fiends, so they can't just zerg me straight away and just march block me and get onto me. I thought he made a mistake putting a unit of fiends on the far right flank and a unit of flesh hounds directly behind him, and then I put an eagle opposite him to sort of box them in.
Yeah.
But as it was, it didn't really matter because I made a mistake in my first turn. He moved the fiends forward, and I left the unit of wild riders in charge range by half an inch. I moved them right back on the table edge, and went and did some other stuff. Then moved them forward a bit, and then it was in charge range. I thought, oh no, I put them on the side, just on the edge of that hill. So if he moves forward with the flesh hands, I've got a flank charge, and the fiends were straight in. It was a unit of 4 fiends, but he only got 3 into combat because if he'd have wheeled, it'd have been a failed charge. So he had to get 3 in. And I held, which I don't think was too unlikely, but everyone who was watching was sort of like, oh, you're so lucky. But I'm leadership 9. He's, you know what I mean? He gets 12 attacks, hitting on 4s, 6 hits, wounding on 3s, 4 wounds. I'm on 6 and a 6er to save.
Yeah.
He killed 2 instead of 3, which average is probably 3. He only killed 2, and I think I did 1 wound back. So, and I've got a banner. So it's not unlikely.
So
I
you
think I
also
tested him
get
on a 6.
you also get a fair amount of attacks back, don't you?
Yeah, because he only killed 2. I got 12 attacks back, which
Yeah.
only did 1 wound. Testing on a 6. So that was a protracted combat for quite a while. I blocked the flesh hounds. Oh no, sorry, it was 1 turn. It should have been protracted. I thought there's no support coming
That's
there.
a big word for you.
Yeah, I put some small unit of war ants in the flank, blocked the flesh rounds with an eagle, and he charged his horrors. No, it wasn't his horrors. It was demonettes into the eagle. And I failed a fear test and ran, which let the flesh hounds charge past. Otherwise, the flesh hounds had just failed charge.
Yeah.
Failed the fear test and ran. The flesh hounds charged the flank of the war dancers, which again held because this time fought ward on the war dancers, so the flesh hounds do nothing. The fiends, I think there's only 2 in combat now because I've took some casualties off, so they're not doing much. And yeah, they held. So it took a couple of turns for him to get the points out of them lot. He got them in the end, but by then all he got was sort of the war dancers and the wild riders on that flank. In the centre, I'm thinking I'm in a lot of trouble here. He's got his second flesh hound unit on the extreme left flank, coming in and pushing down there. I'm quite happy about that. Cornell in there. I thought they're not going to get nothing. They're not going to take any part in the game. Kept hunting spear in the herald. He kept bringing him out of the unit, hunting spear at him. Twice I rolled a 1 to wound.
Oh.
So that was that. And the flesh hound unit didn't do nothing, but his 2 chariots in the centre were causing me a spot of bother. And he let me charge. He charged a unit of archers, and I charged my 6 wild riders into the Slanesh chariot. He was fine with that because he's striking first with the ether blade. But I'm like, well, he's only got 4 attacks. He's only strength 4. He's not going to do an awful lot. I'll go in. I'll hold. It'll take a while. I'll probably lose the wild riders, but again, I'm stopping the centre, stopping him just rushing at the archers. I could shoot his support off.
Yeah.
The same turn as I went in there, he moved his corn chariot. Instead of coming round a wood, he moved back away from it. So he thought he could threaten my tree man a bit more. But then I just sent the tree man in the opposite direction. The corn chariot was left out of the game, and the tree man went in to support the wild riders, got in, smashed up the chariot, threw there into some horrors, smashed up them, and that was the swing then. All of a sudden, I'm back in the game. He's got nothing coming up the middle, and it's just, wood elves everywhere, and all his support units have got another turn to get to me, and by the time he gets to me, I've charged again, I'm through another unit, I've overrun, and it was a bit rough on him. One mistake with Corn Herald in the chariot, that was it. Moving him backwards instead of staying where he was behind the wood made the whole difference, and it was a big win in the end. 800 points to me. One big thing which did happen, which never happens, I shot down his Zinch chariot in one go. I had a unit of bowmen at short range and a unit of bowmen at long range, and the ones at short range flattened it before the second unit didn't need to shoot.
Wow. That is quite impressive.
Doing it with the Dark Elves, they just never damage it, but I think it's strength 4, because when you end up hitting the chariot, you actually do wound it instead of needing 5s, and then he's got a ward save. I did 4 wounds to it, and he didn't save it, which that's his problem, not mine. My dice were about right, you know what I mean? 3s to hit it, 4s to wound it, blah blah blah. About right. His was spectacularly bad. Didn't make any armor, didn't make any ward.
So his arm is only 5s of 5s, isn't it?
Yeah. The other thing that helped was the fact that I set up everything 10 inches in. So, and then I think I gave him the first turn, or he won it and took it. No, he won it and took it, but I was going to give it him anyway. Even with the fast stuff, I thought he loses a magic phase, so I can keep my scrolls for longer, and that did help a lot. So that was game against Brian. Quite a good game actually. I really enjoyed that. Never played Brian before, and I'm looking forward to playing him again.
Well, I normally, to be honest with you, don't play on the Fridays. I normally just sort of sit around, chat, and have some beer. We're doing that, and then Tom Morrison came over and says, "Do you fancy a game?" I'm like, "Okay, go on then." Talk me into it. In fact, he didn't. He bought me a beer. It's like, okay. I says, "What you got?" He says, "I've got 40 Eternal Guard." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll play that." Gets to the table. Turns out he lied to me. He only had 35. Shocking. So we just basically sat in a corner drinking and pushing toys about. Wyvern sort of flew around a bit, got shot, died.
What I couldn't understand about Tom's army was that he had all his Eternal Guard, but no BSB.
Oh yeah, it was a bit of fun, wasn't it? He had
Yeah.
what was his characters?
He had a Highborn, two
Eternal
altars.
Eternal Highborn. No, he only had one altar.
Oh, right.
Eternal Highborn, Altar Noble, Waywatcher Noble, and a level 2.
Oh, yeah, we had the Waywatch Noble with both the snipers, didn't
That's
we?
right. Yeah, the 2 sniping, the arrows and the spike. 2 War Dancers, 2 Bowmen, Waywatchers,
2 Dryads.
2 Dryads.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 Dryads, and then the Eternal Guard. Bowman went in the middle. Eternal Guard went behind the woods with the War Dancers, cuddling the characters. Dryads went on the other flank. My boys went sort of middle to left. Wyvern in the middle. Bit of fast crap on the edge. That was it really. I took Savage Up Ball Boys after the podcast. They were
Yeah,
rubbish.
after we talked about them on the last...
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were not very good at all. I think
Was that just bad luck, though?
yeah, it was to be honest. Out of the games we played, the 7 games, I think in 4 of them when I called a war, they rolled a 1 and killed every model in the unit.
That's kind of impressive.
It's not bad, is it?
Especially seeing as you still get an armour and a ward save after you've beaten them.
You don't get an armor save, you get a ward
You don't get
save.
an armour.
No.
I thought it was strength 5.
No,
You got 4 up
In
save.
fact, you don't get anything. You die.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just...
It's
yeah.
when that's
Oh,
when
because you
Black-
called a war. It
called
wasn't
a
just...
war, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hang on, armor save. I didn't do any of that.
Oh, no.
There's a reason why. Tom went first, did a bit of shooting. I moved forward, got into position to call a war, turn 2. So it was, a bit of a friendly game Friday night, bit of laugh. Tom then proceeds to kill my Wyvern with a unit of bowmen.
Just 10 Glade Guard.
10 Glade Guard at short range, 10 Glade Guard at long range. Dead Wyvern.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Oh dear. I was not very impressed by that. But he still left my Lord in charge range. So, okay, he'll charge. 1 unit bowman ran away. In Tom's turn, the other unit bowman killed him. Bear in mind, he's now a single model with toughness 5 and a 3-up armor save
Yeah.
with 3 wounds, and he killed him. So that it was going down, and it was going down bad. But in the same turn that he killed the Lord, he also charged his Altar Noble into the Squig Hoppers and didn't kill any.
Yeah.
I then killed him back.
Nice.
Killed him stone dead.
So a bit of a trade-off there.
bit of a
Not quite
trade-off.
a trade-off in points,
Well,
but
no.
in luck.
But then, look. And then in my following turn, the Squigs went a bit bonkers and went into the flank of the Eternal Guard, killing lots of them, shall we say. He then rolled a 10 and proceeded to tell me that he was stubborn on a 10. I'm like, no, you're not, Tom. You're stubborn,
Stubborn on your own leadership.
you're stubborn on your own leadership or you use your general. No. It's like, Tom, yeah. He's getting his rule book out and all this. Like, Tom, you're right. You're wrong. You're running away. I'm chasing you. And he's like, oh, yeah, crap. So he ran with them, chased them.
The Squigs run them down.
The Squigs ran them down.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah. The Squigs then...
Was it all 4 characters in there? Well, 3 characters in there.
No,
as
it's
well.
just the hero, just the
he's only
just
got
the
2
Lord
that
in
can-
there.
Yeah.
The Squigs then turned around at the Waywatchers, at the Waywatcher Noble, at a unit of War Dancers. Basically, the 135 points of Squigs
Killed his army.
killed his army and got me a 700 point win. It was 2,000 played 1,300
Good
by
stuff.
the end. We had very many breaks during the game, shall we say? In fact, I forgot twice that we were playing Warhammer.
You wandered off for a fag and a
I
drink.
wandered off for a fag, a drink, and a chat, and then sort of Tom wanders over, starts talking. And I'm like, we're playing Warhammer, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, okay. Come back in. So go back inside to have a turn and stuff. So and then we had a kebab halfway through.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. So that was that.
Okay, so Saturday morning we rock up at the tournament, nice and early. Set up the recording tackle, had a wander around, said hello to everyone. They'd got the fire escape open as well, so it was nice to sit on the balcony with the morning sunshine on you and all that. So yeah, it was a quite relaxed atmosphere in the morning. Everyone chilling out. It wasn't get too hot yet. It's nice and warm, so everyone's in the shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good stuff. And my first opponent was a guy called James Darcy. I've met him before. He was at the Merseyside Meltdown. I played against his mate Andy Russell, with dwarfs. And yeah, James was there at the end of the table looking like death. He got hammered by someone in like 20 minutes, then sat there drinking himself into a stupor. Kept coming back to see how his mate was doing, looking even more pissed every time he came over. So yeah, this time it was bright and early, so he wasn't drunk, but he was writing his army list when we got to the table.
Oh dear.
So he rocks up with a Carnosaur, a Scar Veteran, a Cold One, and a Skink Priest. I think it was just 3 characters. He also had 2 units of what they called the Croxigore things, cohorts with Croxigores, 2 Crocs, load of Skinks, a block of Saurus Warriors, a couple of units of Blowpipe Skinks, and that was about it. Oh, and I think he had an Ancient Stag as well. No Stag. One Terracors, a Carnosaur. So I was quite confident, to be fair. I knew he wasn't a very experienced player because he says he's been to like 1 tournament, 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
And I was happy he didn't have no magic, so I thought there's no real way he could do any damage to me from distance. So I thought I'd just shoot the Carnosaur to death, and that didn't really work. 3 times, 10 bowmen shot it at short range and got 3 hits.
What, from all 10?
Yeah. So the only saving grace was the fact that every time I did a wound, he failed his armor save. But it took a while. I think he finally went down in like turn 5, and then I killed the rider in turn 6 with Strangleroot and some magic. He had the Blade of Realities on him, so he had quite a poor armor save.
Yeah.
But it never got into combat. He only killed my eagle and nothing else in the entire army except for a comet, which took off. I think it was 4 out of 5 units, 4 out of 5 War Dancers, 6 out of 7 War Dancers, 8 bowmen out of 1 unit, 6 bowmen out of another, 4 out of another, a whole unit of Wild Riders, and 4 Wild Riders out of the other unit. Oh no, sorry, the Wild Riders didn't get hit. So what was that? I got hit. Dryads, that was it. Dryads, not Wild Riders. 4 and a 6 out of the Dryads. It hit everything in my army except the 2 Wild Rad units, which were on the flanks, and the Eagle, which had died already. And it was unbelievable. And this comet, it cast it with a level 2 Skink Priest, 2 6s, when I was sitting on 2 scrolls. I'd failed to dispel it twice, and it just wouldn't come down. It just kept coming and coming and coming, and it just crashed into me. I was lucky I didn't. I was lucky he only rolled like a 3 for its distance with 4 tokens.
Yeah.
If he'd have rolled a 4 or a 5, it'd have killed both Wild Rad units as well. But like I said, luckily for me, it was like half points on everything. And at that point, he'd got no points off me.
Yeah.
So I could still, instead of sort of going in and trying to wipe him up, and it was looking, I thought I'd got in positions to charge everything, and I think I'd have gone through and I'd have got the massacre. But at that point, I sort of needed to bug out and try and conserve points. As it was in the end, I still got a big win. It was 1,900 to me and 238 to him, which was literally just half points everywhere. Again, the treatment in that game was pretty good. He stood in this free wood in the centre of the table, stranglerooting things, just stranglerooting everything. And because he didn't have no magic, or he had a poor magic defence, Beast Cows was really good. Just stopped his source cab with a Scar Veteran in all game. I thought I won't not bothered about the Carnosaur. He can move forward and charge his archer unit. I'll shoot him with the other 2 at short range. And that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, good win to me, game 1.
Well, my game 1 was Luke McHugh, Rooney off the forums. He's a listener, so hello, Luke. I suppose you go through what I took really in the end, shouldn't I? I had a Black Hawk on the Wyvern with Shaggers and Enchanted Shield and all that jazz. I had a Black Hawk Big Boss, BSB, in a chariot with the War Banner after its success at Giant Fanatic. I had the Goblin Big Boss on a Wolf with the Strength 10 and the Trixie Trinket, so no ward saves. Level 1 Goblin Shaman. 24 boys with full command. 24 Night Goblins with nets, shields, and full command, and a Fanatic. 5 Goblin Spider Riders, 5 Wolf Riders, 18 Black Hawks with full command and shields, and they also had the Spirit Totem for some extra dispel dice. 9 Squig Uppers, 5 Savage York Boar Boys, a Rotlobber with a Bully, and a Doom Diver. So pretty small army, to be honest with you, for Orcs and Goblins. So first game was Luke McHugh. He had demons. He had a pooping demon prince that flew, a Nurgle herald on a Planquin, and I can't remember what other characters he had. I think that was it.
I can't remember what he
No,
had.
I can't remember. I think that was it.
No, it didn't have a Corn Herald. No.
Not that I remember.
Okay, so what units did he have?
He had a block of plague bearers, 2 horrors, 2 flesh hounds, 5 flamers, and two units of furies, and 2 units of 3 nurglings for him to poop into. I mean, he's set up quite defensive as well with the demon prince. It was very undecided where he wanted to put it. He put it in one place. He's like, oh, I see you there with the Rotlobber, and he put it somewhere else. Oh, I see you there with the Doomdiver. Then he put it down and went, right, I'm happy with that. I says, you sure? I can see you with both. I was like, oh, okay, he's going in the wood. So he stood it in the wood.
In the wood.
In the wood.
So he couldn't get behind the wood because of the shooting.
He could have got behind the wood and took one.
Oh, right, okay.
But put him in the wood. Which I thought, right, he's staying there all game. Well, he's going to struggle getting out of there in the first place. He's going to stay there all game and just poop, which I thought was fine. Both flesh hounds went on one flank. Horrors went in the middle-ish and on the other flank. And the plague bearers went bang in the middle. And then the nurglings went down 6 inches away from the demon prince, basically. I let Luke go first, knowing that he's going to have to come forward with some stuff. I put the wyvern over on the far side, thinking the wyvern and the bull boy should just bosh through flesh hounds without even trying.
Yeah.
The chariot went on the other flank, thinking all I need to do is make sure he doesn't strength 7 the chariot with a flickering fire, and he should go through horrors, even if he doesn't do well on the impact hits.
Yeah, eventually he'll go through them.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He's got 5 attacks at strength 5 in the first round, plus impact hits. He's got a banner. You don't need to kill many and you're outnumbering them in the first place. So I figured he can take them out. The rest of it sort of just middled around, really, thinking I don't really want to go into the plague bearers because nothing happens. I need to sort of try and beat everything else up around the sides and come back on them. So I thought I'd get them march block with the spiders and the squigs. His nurglings just grew and grew and grew. And in the end, he had, I think, 7 bases in one unit.
Impressive.
Which was very impressive because they were spread out over about 2 foot. Well, maybe not 2 foot, maybe 15 inches. In like a semicircle type. And quite an interesting rules thing there, really. One that I'd not come up with before, when 2 units declare a charge on them. One moves first. The squig hoppers moved in the compulsory to rank them up, and then the night goblin on the goblin and the wolf sort of comes out of the unit, does a handbrake turn, and goes completely the other way. Because at the time he could declare the charge, could see the unit, etc., etc. That was good, especially given no ward save.
Yeah.
So the squig hoppers and him just went through them like butter. The wyvern had to go into flesh hounds on his own because the savage orcs
killed themselves.
They didn't kill themselves. They rolled a 1, just generic animosity when Luke had failed charge with the flesh hounds. So he'd come forward 7. He put the other unit 7 forward, and I knew I could go in. Knew that I'd just destroy them in one round
With 2 units.
With the 2 units, yeah.
Yeah, of course you would.
It'd go through them like anything.
It's 20 attacks from the savage orcs.
Unless you don't.
Did your savage orcs get into combat with anything over the weekend?
A few times, nothing massive though.
No.
Do you know what I mean? To be honest, they weren't great.
No.
Again, a bit of bad luck with rolling a lot of 1s, but they weren't great. So I had to put the wyvern on his own, which died, got ground down, just flesh out, ate the wyvern, and then the Lord needed double 1. And that was really the turning point, because not having him around to add a bit of leadership and a bit of fighting as well.
Yeah.
Meant that when I eventually did go into the plague bearers, which was quite interesting actually, the boys, the black orcs, the chariot, and the squig hoppers all went in one turn.
Yeah, some photos of this on Twitter because I had done my game by then. And I was watching yours.
I think what did I win the first round by? 14 or something? Was it as much as that?
No, Luke thought he was down by 15, but then when you actually counted it, Luke was adding up wrong. He was sort of adding 3 to 4 and making 15.
Yeah.
I think he lost by 8, but then when he rolled a 6 on his test, he only lost like 5 or 6 men. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, it wasn't the end of the world. It just a grind, wasn't it, in the end? And also as well, he had Slime Trail on his plank win.
Yeah, so when you're using the flank and the rear, that's +3 combat that he didn't get.
Yeah, so that in the end was a minor win to Luke, 347 up.
Which I imagine he was quite pleased with, because
he was, yeah.
he was giving you a bit of banter on the forums beforehand, wasn't he?
yeah. But to be honest with you, again, I think came down to them Savage Oaks rolling a 1.
Yeah, lost you your general.
Lost me the general, and I think.
So why did you have to charge the general? Because the Savage Oaks animosity before you declare your charge.
Because otherwise I had nothing to stop the flesh hounds just rolling down the side of me.
Okay, yeah.
Not even a little bit. Do you know what I mean? If they charged
Yeah.
the Savage Oak Bull Boys, which they would have done next turn.
And your general going in is still dicey. You could still flatten them.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, definitely. I think he hit like 3 times in 3 rounds of combat or something.
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, it's not good then, is it?
Don't get me wrong. You know the dice weren't great for that, but that's shit happens.
That's Orcs, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just get on with it, don't you? So that was a win to Luke.
Okay, so game 2, we had some lunch actually before game 2, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Possibly a poor choice of lunch given the day.
Yeah. Curry or chili.
Yeah.
Red hot.
Curry or chili on both days.
And it was bacon. But again, you don't know this when you book your food.
No.
It's a bit difficult when everyone's there sweating and just wanting ice cream, and you're getting cooked dinner. But if it was winter, you'd be begging for.
To be honest,
dinner.
it was nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Do you know what I mean? It was nice.
I don't know what the general consensus was. There's been no complaints on the forums about it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well,
I like that sort of food.
It was nice.
So you can walk around with a spoon and a bowl.
Yep. And there was a lot of it as well. You could go back for seconds. And
yeah.
Almost everybody went back for seconds.
I didn't know you could.
Oh, right.
No, first I knew that.
Right. Saturday, I'd not even had mine firsts, and people were second and third in it.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so game 2 after lunch was I played Singe Frost, local Derby guy. I sort of said to him, "Do you want to see if we can change because we're local?" I said, "I'm not bothered either way." And I more thought for him because you don't want to play Beast versus Wood Elves. And I said, "Look, if you want to get them to see if they'll change because we're both Derby club members, I'll see what they say." And I think they actually said they would change us, but Singe wanted to play. So we played each other. Singe brought Beastman. He had a Lord in a chariot. It's Razor Gore chariots. He had 4 of them. So a Lord in one, a Lord in one, two wizards in one each, and a Gore. No, and then a normal chariot as well. So 3 characters on chariots, 1 normal chariot. Then he had the what are they called? The Gore Bull BSB.
Yeah.
Attached to 1 Razor Gore, and then another unit of 2 Razor Gores. So he had a lot of Razor Gores in the army.
A Gorbel attached to a Razor Gore?
Yeah, in a unit.
Oh.
Yeah. Join the unit, so it's one Gorbel, 1 pig and 1 pig pusher.
Is the pig's on a 50mm base as well, isn't it?
Yeah. 50 and a 40 next to each other. No, it's 50 and a 50.
No,
50 and a 40.
Minotaur's on a 40, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it seemed to work. It was like a ablative meat shield, which still runs fast for the hero.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had 2 units of Gore and a load of units of Raiders. Gore, I think it's 6 Raiders because 3 of them ambushed, and the Gore's ambushed, and all of them rolled a 1 for the ambushing.
Oh dear.
So I sent them all to his table edge.
He must have had 2 Gore then.
Yes, he had 2 Gore ranked units. So the big ranked Gore unit which he deployed was his first deployment. It was behind a forest in his own deployment zone, and he goes, "These things are rubbish. I've only got them because of because they've made me have them." And there's me feeling pretty bad for having no ranked infantry at all. And then his 3 chariots all went around that forest. So his 4 chariots all went around that forest. The pigs up either side of it, and I'm thinking he's going to play really defensively.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a struggle getting because only my Wild Riders charge over 14. And all this stuff moves 14. I'm going to have a spot of bother. I can't remember who won the roll for first turn, but Singe took first. Singe got first turn. I have a feeling I gave it him, but I couldn't say for sure. And he came straight at me, which I was quite pleased about.
I bet you were.
First thing the Gores did as well was roll a 1 and come on his table edge. I made him come on his table edge. So that was another weight off my mind because my archers were all safe.
Does he get the choice
I choose. If he
Yeah,
rolls
no,
a one,
no.
I
If he rolls
choose.
one, you choose
I choose the edge.
table edge.
I choose the edge. He puts them wherever he wants,
Right.
and the move is normal. So yeah, he rushed at me. And there was a shaky moment where I thought, "Hang on, there's too much of it here. 4 heavy chariots, 2 fast units running straight at me." But it's just the wood elves did the wood elf thing. The tree man ran out, waved his arms, got all the chariots to charge me. He kept throwing them in. Everything, as long as the Lord wasn't charging, I was happy. I kept shooting the Lord, and I kept chipping wounds off him. And as soon as I found out he'd got no armor, I was like, "Fine, the tree man can go chasing him." And he did. He smashed the tree man for 4 wounds over the course of 2 or 3 chariots going in, and the tree man just kept smashing the chariots because it's the only thing in the army that can. But then he's thinking as well, that's the only thing in his army that can do the tree man in. So it's dicey because if he does nothing and I do nothing back, he runs away. You know what I mean? If he does a couple of wounds, I just have to match him. So yeah, the tree man just beat up on the chariots. Archers in a building shooting at the pigs as they come running across the board. And then when he did charge me, I thought, maybe stand and fire and then strike first. If I kill a pig, he's only got 4 attacks. He's not actually going to do much to me.
No.
If I pass my break test, he's pushed back out the building. As it was, that's pretty much what happened. But I didn't kill one, but I did pass my break test, so his assault faltered.
Push him out of the building and shoot him again next turn.
Yeah. And took them down. So yeah, it was pretty rough on Singer in the end, especially the later turns. First few turns we sort of got stuck in the middle, but the later turns it was just me moving around and him taking men off. So it was pretty petered out a little bit. He got a table quarter, 132 points would be half of my level 4 because that was 2 miscasts, a unit of dryads and an eagle. So yeah.
It's a bit rough, isn't it?
Sorry, half the tree man as well. So it's 526 versus I got 1700, which was pretty much most of his army. Yeah.
Well, my game 2 was also Beastman. I played Mark Wildman. And I don't get it.
What, the Beastman?
Yeah.
No, this is the thing. I kept saying to Singe, right? I was like cautiously edging around, scooting around the outside of his charge range. I'm like, what could he have? Has he got this? Could he have that? Singer's like, there's no tricks, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't believe you. I fell for that brass cleaver before. It's like, I've not got the brass cleaver. There's nothing good in the army. There's no tricks. It's just rubbish. And here's me thinking for like 3 or 4 turns, it's gonna do something.
Yeah.
And it just didn't.
Yep.
So
I had the same thing with Mark, really. I mean, Mark went with a level 4, level 1, to be honest. So it's
yeah, we
slightly
spoke
different.
about this after I played him a few weeks ago, and I says, if I was doing it, I'd go with the magic.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, he did all right. He rolled decent magic. He got Steed, he got Magic Missile, he got Fear and Terror, and he got Pit. And then he got Bear's Anger on the level 1 as well. So the Bear's Angered flying Wargore would be a bit mean. He had the BSB as well, the Minotaur BSB.
Yeah, with 1 up armor and magic sword of might and 1 up armor or something
He
like
had
that.
something. Or is that just because he's a Minotaur, the extra round of combat thing?
Yeah, every time you win a grand combat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Singer's Gorbel was he kept winning rounds of combat against my shit, making it run away. He was on 8 attacks.
Yeah, Mark's Gobble was not a million miles away, because he was in Bestigor as well, and I can't remember why. Did they have a banner or something that gave him an extra attack? I don't know. He had a load of attacks. I just sort of whatever. Roll your dice.
Take off your goblins.
I'm sick of trying to work out where they're all coming from. He had a unit of Gore, which is basically a character bunker, to be honest with you. A couple of units of Raiders, a couple of single pigs, 4 chariots, a unit of Harpies, and a Jabba Jabba. Jabba. Which, to be honest with you, against things like orcs,
you'd expect it to be good, wouldn't you?
It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? The orcs have got no shooting and they've got very low magic, very low leadership. Great. Unless the orc player rolls 5s and 6s for nearly every test. So Mark went first, flew the Jabba Jabba round. I dropped a rock on it, did 4 wounds. Then said to him, I'm going to re-roll that with my bully. Rolls a 5. It's dead. Mark says, can you do that? It's like, yeah, it's like an engineer. Do you know what I mean? They should re-roll your dice. Really? That's good. Yeah. How many points today? 5. That's amazing. Just as he's putting his fingers on it to take it off, I said, Mark, I'm kidding.
And wind you up, Mark.
Winding up, Mark. Leave it alone, it's fine. everything else sort of just moved forward really because like you say, I didn't know what to do against it. It's got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, loads of little units
Little
all over the
shitty
place.
units.
Chariots and
Yeah.
ranked units.
And I'm like, well, if I charge that, it's going to flee, and then this happens, and then what if this? And it's just ridiculous.
And Mark's all the time going, if you charge that, I'll flee. These will all charge you and nothing will happen. And you don't believe it.
Yeah,
do
you just don't believe them. So in the end, I think on like turn 3, I thought I'm just going to have to get stuck into it, and did. And by the end of turn 3, he had nothing left. All his shit was either dead or had ran off and didn't rally, or had held, got beat up and panicked other shit. It was...
It all keeps running through each other. It's like orcs but rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, he broke with a chariot. This was the Savage Up Ball Boys actually got to fight a chariot. And I think he rolled a 10. And when we sort of pivoted it and moved it and put it down, and it's like, if you'd have rolled 10 and a quarter, it'd have gone through pretty much everything you'd got alive.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? It had hit a chariot, it had hit a razor gore, it had hit some raider dudes. It had gone through the bestigore, out the bestigore into another pig razor gore thing, into his war gore, and probably off the board. It would have been...
That'd have been impressive.
It would have been very, very impressive. But yeah, just a little bit short. The Wyvern went into the bestigore on turn 2. No, turn 1.
Really? So
Yeah.
he moved forward and you ward.
He moved forward and I ward.
Mm.
Went in.
What, did he move like 3.5 forward and you just charged straight into
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
Oh, Mark.
To be honest, it was a really good game. But yeah, flew him in, beat the fuck out of his champion. Proper bad. But not quite bad enough that the dude next to him with a horn scared the Wyvern a little bit. And he ran away. So the Wyvern ran away and he's in my own lines. And I'm like, oh, good guy. And to be honest with you, it's a good job that he only goes D6 inches because otherwise I'd have been in a world of trouble.
Did you roll really low?
I rolled quite low, but I rolled low, but he also rolled low on his 1 die, so it meant he was still...
When he charged you, you could run again.
He was just in charge range, do you know what I mean? So I ran out of the way. Well, I would have run out of the way, but I rallied. Yeah, he charged me again, pushed me a bit further, and I rallied on the table edge. I couldn't believe that. I thought, it's a bloody musician.
Typical.
What's going on? The chariot, now that was good.
Your Bobo chariot.
Bobo chariot, yeah. The same turn went into the front of the gore.
So your Black Hawk chariot into it, yeah.
Black Hawk chariot with the BSB on, into the front of the gore, killed 7 gore on the impact hits.
Made him run away.
Then challenged the champion, smashed him about a bit, and made them run away. Yeah. So in the end, it was a mess.
Yeah, big win.
Big win.
Full points.
No, quite full points because I'd lost a bit of chaff. It were 1,600 played, 700. So got his winners in the last turn as well. Couldn't go anywhere with it. Steeler shadowed it out of combat before I got a chance to smash him up with the Wyvern again. And then I just flew the Wyvern behind where he was hiding so he couldn't get out of the way and charged him in.
Nice.
But yeah, like you said, I was a bit sort of like worried.
Yeah. There's loads of it all over
there's
the
loads
place.
of it. What?
It's coming on behind me and up the sides and then it just doesn't do out.
No.
Yeah. Shame, really. Could have been a good book.
Yeah. Well, maybe it still will be.
Yeah, maybe it will be in a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so game 3. I'm on table 2 and I'm playing against Mark Bolland, who's brought my internet Wood Elf list. So in the run-up to this event, I posted on the internet that I'm going to bring a Dryad spam army with 8 units of 8 Dryads just to take the piss a bit and abuse the restrictions. I had no intention of bringing it, but it's
not like you at all.
It got people talking, and all around the event, people run about, Curry bought all these Dryads, and I hadn't. I just brought a generic Wood Elf list. However, Mark had seen my list and gone, I've got loads of Dryads. We'll do some of that. So he had 5 units of 9, so he had 45 Dryads. However, his characters, I don't think his characters were as tasty as they could have been. I thought the list I wrote with the level 4 and the BSB was a bit better. Mark had a level 1, a BSB, a branch wraith, and an altar. So I was quite confident going into this because I'd got the magic, so I could keep him out of the woods, and I could also move the woods, and he couldn't. However, I didn't roll the movement spell. If I rolled the movement spell, I'd have been really happy, but we didn't roll that. I got Treesing, Fear of the Forest, the Twilight Host, and the Ariel's Blessing, the regen spell. So the first few turns, I was painfully aware of his multiple units of Dryads just overrunning me. So I deployed quite cautiously. Both units of Wild Riders on one flank, just to sort of keep him honest from running down there. And on the other flank, my Tree Man sort of faced off against his and facing off against his Dryads. He got the first turn and moved to. I rolled the first turn this time. I do remember that. I made him take it, and he rushed towards me. I thought he made a mistake on his turn too because I march blocked him with my Eagle. March blocked his Tree Man and march blocked some Dryads. So he charged his Dryads into my Tree Man, which I was fine with because I'd already strangled rooted them once, and I did it again on Stand and Fire, and then I beat the last two up in combat or whatever it was, and that was a unit of Dryads down for no real reason.
For free.
Yeah, fair enough. He was in the flank, and I did roll like an 8 on the Stand and Fire. Killed like 4 of them, but to be fair, he's not gonna. They're not going to do it. I can't even see them holding me. Well, I say that, as you'll find out later. Things transpire differently. But I couldn't see him holding me. I thought that was a bit of a mistake. But the main mistake, what he did, was he charged his Tree Man into my Eagle, which just fled. In fact, sorry, no, I didn't even flee because I thought he was miles away through terrain. And he was, and he got stuck in the terrain then. So his Tree Man's in rocks in the middle of the board, and my Tree Man's free to go rampaging. So I sort of moved him up the side of his, towards where all his Dryads, War Dancers, and things like that were coming down the left flank, and he moved. He pressed on again. He got his Tree Man. He charged his Tree Man into my Tree Man then, and he couldn't make it. So that was another turn where he was not charging, not doing anything. So my Tree Man then went into his Dryads, and at this point he's killed nothing. He's got my Eagle, which he'd managed to shoot out, and he'd killed absolutely nothing else. And I've got a unit of Dryads. I think I've shot half a unit of his archers off. And that's it. I'm looking really well. My Tree Man charges his Dryads, does nothing, and he breaks me and runs me down. Which I was just like, you're kidding. And it's like, that's the game, you know what I mean? That's a big swing, because all of a sudden his Tree Man's now at 3. It's in the middle of the table with nothing near it. His Dryads have got nothing facing off against him, and he can just swing around one flank and flatten everything on that flank. And I thought there's nothing I can do about it. So I think, right, this turn I've got to try and get some points back. So both my Wild Rider unit, he's shot these now, so they're down to my big unit with the War Banners down to just the War Banner man, and the other unit's a full strength unit. So 6 Wild Riders charge 6 Dryads. I charge in there. I beat him by a load. He holds on. I think he needed a 3, and he rolled it. And then he broke all the Wild Riders and ran them down and took both of them out next turn. And I'm thinking, right, crap, it's a big loss now. But as it was, he couldn't really get any more points off me, and I managed to pick up a few more. I managed to get his archers, but stop him getting at mine while getting his. And I managed to pick off like table quarters. I ended up with 3 table quarters, what he didn't. And yeah, in the end, I managed to minimise what he could do.
Yeah.
Compound the issue, my BSB ran off in terror in the last turn. Nothing I could do about that.
You say when the Tree Man broke, was he BSB as well?
Yeah, and I think he was.
It's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I can't remember. No, it was Nat's Whisker out, I think. So it was on an 8, but yeah, just first attempt gone. I didn't move the BSB anywhere near him because I knew.
Because you didn't think for a second, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Why would
it
you?
meant me moving the War Dancers out of a wood, and it was 30 bowmen at the time at long range shooting the War Dancers, and you could easily allocate. One unit kills a War Dancer.
Yeah.
Second unit starts shooting at the BSB, and
yeah.
So no, it was. You know, if I'd have done a wound, I'd have been all right. One hit didn't wound.
Should have rolled better.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that. And to be fair, in the end, I was happy with how I played all game. I thought I deployed better. I thought I'd managed to march block his Tree Man earlier on the Eagle, which was a bonus because mine wasn't march blocked then. And I didn't think I did much wrong, but I don't know. My Tree Man running down. Like I say, at that point, I'd lost no points. Mark took advantage of it, got a few more units, but I managed to keep most of my points out of the way. And yeah, that was that. So yeah, 1,000 points to 1,049 to Mark and 1,109 to me. So it's a draw, fairly high scoring. So we both got a lot of victory points out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've not played under a sort of victory point system for a while, have we? They've generally been the 20-0s, haven't they?
Yeah.
I played Andrew Russell and his dwarfs in round 3. Now, when Andrew had played Marcus in round 2 on the table behind me, and just Marcus's men had just all died. Just
yeah, I remember Marcus telling me about this.
Yeah, he taps me on the shoulder and said, points at his sort of dead pile, which is effectively a high elf army. Dead. They're all dead. I'm like, how? He says, just died. I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, Andy pulls up at the table, and he's also a listener as well. So
Yep. Hello, Andy.
Now his army was tiny, and I thought,
ruined up to the eyeballs.
Here we go, ruined up to death.
Now, did he have an anvil or a dwarf lord?
He had a king on a shield.
Yeah.
So a king on a shield in a unit of hammerers, a BSB in a unit of warriors, a runesmith that went in the hammerers. He had a master engineer on a cannon, an organ gun, a gyrocopter, a unit of thunderers, and a unit of quarrelers. And that was it.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, wow, this is it. I'm not going anywhere near the 2 blocks. I thought they're going to trudge down the middle. I'm going to let them do that. I'm going to get out of the way of them. I thought everything else can go around the sides, get rid of the war machines, get rid of the missile troops, and we'll call it a small win to me. Fine, happy with that. So first turn, moves it all forward a bit. Wyvern's jumping through terrain to keep out of the way of the cannon. Because obviously with a master engineer there, it's
D6 wounds.
I think it's right. I'll shoot at the cannon myself with my Doom Diver and my Rotlobber, and I'll send spiders after it. At least if I send the spiders in with hatred,
he's got to pursue you, hasn't he?
He's got to pursue me. I also get hatred. Oh, in fact, no, sorry, that was the Night Goblins. Ignore me. That was the Squig Hoppers. He's got to pursue me, but I also thought I've got a fair chance of killing 1 or 2. Bit of poison, strength 4 with the spears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I can go in and kill 1, 2.
And also, if he does pursue you and rolls really high, it takes him ages to get
back.
back.
Yeah, it takes him ages to get back, absolutely. So that was my plan, and that was kind of it, really. The spiders went in and dragged the cannon away. The Squig Hoppers went into the gyrocopter in my turn 1.
Turn 1?
Turn 1. Andy moved the gyrocopter straight over. Squig Hoppers went boing into it. Sat there for the whole game.
Oh, nice.
The whole game. 11 rounds of combat.
Impressive.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Hey, at least they weren't getting shot.
Well, that's true.
To be fair, at least the gyrocopter wasn't flying around burning shit.
Well, that's true as well. I mean, to be honest with you, again, the Squigs were just going to follow the gyrocopter around wherever it went.
Yeah.
So it couldn't stay in one place for too long. I mean, it must have saved 4 wounds on it, on a 6.
Nice.
So that sat there forever. And then the Wyvern had skipped about a little bit. The Rotlobber had killed the Organ Gun, which was nice. And then I'm like, well, do I want to go into the blocks? I'd fled a charge, so I had Black Orcs in the flank and boys in the front of the warriors, and I had the Chariot and the Wyvern in the rear of the hammerers. I thought, you know what, I probably should, because it's a victory points tournament.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, it'll not work. It'll not work. I'll do nothing. I'll get ground down and probably lose the Wyvern, which I thought will wipe away the points I've scored for the other stuff. And then Andy goes, well, I've got the master in a challenge, so I'm going to make your Chariot charge. Fuck it.
All of it.
So it all went in, and he had nothing. Do you know what I mean? He had nothing. I was amazed. And then, to be honest, thinking about it afterwards, it's because it's 2,000 points.
Yeah.
There'd normally be that army, but there'd be 250 points worth of runes knocking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it all broke in the end.
Eventually.
The Warriors went straight away, and then the Warriors went in the second round, and then the Hammerers got killed to a man. And
because of stubborn and immune to fear and terror. And
yeah, but they're only immune to fear and terror while the
Hammers are alive.
Hammerers are alive. I mean, I think Andy might have made a mistake in the order he did the combats in the second round, because it meant that I had more attacks from the Wyvern, which was just enough to kill the last Hammerer, which meant it was double one in it. But then his theory behind it was he wanted the BSB alive
for the test.
Which
on 11 or 10. So.
I can
you can see why he needs it.
I could see why you do it that way as well. But yeah, it was horrid, to be honest with you. Bless him. and that was a 1,800 point win.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was. I scored 2,399.
That's impressive in a 2,000 point game.
Yeah, and I didn't get the medal.
You didn't get the medal for the biggest win.
biggest
Adam Hall did, didn't he?
Adam did, yeah.
Yeah, so overnight leader going into Sunday morning was Adam Hall, our fellow Bad Dice teammate. He'd got his Dirty Demons, and he'd flattened a dark elf army, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Tom Hale, is it, from Odd Games? And
yeah,
he'd literally ran over him with flesh hands and seekers. It was a bit rough. So
yeah, they're giving out a medal
each round,
each round for the biggest victory. So they're giving one to the winner, they're giving one to the loser. And so Sunday morning, I thought, you know what, I've got half a chance of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 2,400 points in a 2,000 point tournament is pretty good. And then Adam got it.
Came along.
Like, blimey, what did you score?
I think he'd scored about the same, hadn't he? But he'd given away less.
Ah, right.
I think that's what it was. So Saturday night we went and watched football, didn't we?
We did. Well, we didn't. We went.
We retired to the hotel room.
We went for a meal first.
Tormented some poor girl who was waiting on.
When you say poor girl, she was the worst waitress ever.
Yeah, she was kind of rubbish. So yeah, we had some food. It was us two, Adam and Martin, Andy Potter and Marcus Pitt. So yeah, nice meal with them lot. And yeah, so retired back to the hotel room with a crate of cider and watched the Champions League final,
didn't we? Yeah.
And then after that was done, we went to the venue, didn't we? Back to the venue because we were still there.
Yeah. To be honest, I was knackered.
Yeah, you were ready for bed.
I was knackered and I was hot. And we'd had dinner, and it just started to cool down a little bit in the hotel room. Sat there watching the Champions League fight. It's like, you know what, I could just go to bed. It's like, no, come on, we'll go back to the venue. It's like, all right. So we wandered back across to the venue, and it's, nice. It's not. It was what, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, and so it was nice, cool
down.
Quite
nice. Gets to the venue, you walk up the fire escape, and you can feel the heat coming outside. He walks in, and it's just, oh, good God, it's roasting, absolutely roasting. Yeah, so we sort of milled about a bit, didn't we? Had a chat with a few people, and then start to play Munchkin.
Munchkin, yeah. Well, we said we've got any games, because Darren says he's got loads of games.
Yeah.
But I think all the good ones were sort of being played. And Tom says, so I'll buy something. What do you want to play? I'll buy it, because I fancy, there's a couple of games I like anyway. So we decided on Munchkin, didn't we? And there was like, 8 of us?
Yeah.
So we dealt the cards out. All the dice, excuse me, all the dice went out for your levels. First two hands of the game went round, and I was like, okay, I'm out. Chuck my cards in. See you later, guys. And everyone looked at me, gone out, and I'm sort of like, I've been here and done this before. We're there for hours, and I got out while I still could.
It's it can take
you was at it for about 2 hours, weren't you?
I don't think we were at it that long, to be honest with you. I don't think it was 2 hours. It might have been an hour. It was good. It was funny though. It was very funny. Usual fare really. One person gets slightly ahead, and then everyone just hammers.
Everyone teams up on him. Yeah.
I got to level 8 twice. Got hammered back down. I think, to be honest, what I think it was, we didn't shuffle the cards very well.
No.
So I got to level 8, and then it seemed to be like 3 people in a row drew loser level curses.
Oh yeah.
Just hammered me with it. So anyway, I got back up to level 8. And then I was an elf, so all you guys out there who know Munchkin, if you help someone defeat a monster in Munchkin, you also get a level, whereas normally you don't if you're an elf. And Ches pulls this monster, a Balrog I think it was, which is 2 levels. So I said, oh, I'll help you kill it. And he went, okay. I went, right-yo, I've won. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Has anyone got anything to stop him? No. Oh, crap.
And that was it.
That was it. I won. Yeah.
Excellent. So that was that.
Then what did we do? We just sort of
I stopped playing because I had some guys that I needed to talk to. I wanted to do a bit of recording on the Snake Eyes section episode that we did. So yeah, that's why I stopped playing. And you and Adam Hall and the others packed up and cleared off then. And I stayed around for about 20 minutes and followed. It wasn't that long, so no. So that was Saturday. Gonna have another short break, and then we'll come back and do Sunday. Unseen Lurker is a new, exciting gaming magazine covering gaming, tactics, hobby, modelling, reviews, interviews, and even the occasional zebra. Each issue has a quarter of the magazine available for download, so you can try before you buy. It's the first independent global magazine encompassing articles from generals and hobbyists all over the world. Every issue of Unseen Lurker, that's Lurker with an E, is packed with giveaways such as custom dice, t-shirts, as well as the Game of the Month as reviewed by our Unseen Lurker test dummies. For more information, check out unseenlurker.com. Okay, so we're back from the break, and we're going to talk about Sunday at Tempest Rising now. So, yeah, rocked up Sunday morning. Breakfast was a bit of an experience, wasn't it? It was shit. It took about an hour, just over an hour to get food. So I think we had a lot of problems with the hotel. So Ches went over there and sort of cracked some heads. There was some problems with the discount codes that Ches had organised. So he got that sorted out. Anyone who'd paid too much could go back and get a refund. And I also think they've got another hotel lined up for the next one, what they're doing there.
The hotel was very convenient, and it was it Premier Inn?
Yeah, which are normally spot on.
Normally, yeah.
They're not good, they're not bad.
Yeah, you get a clean room and a decent shower and a decent breakfast, which, to be fair,
yeah, that's all you
want. But yeah, the breakfast. I mean, all right, there was a lot of us, but it's a breakfast. It's bacon and eggs.
Yeah, it's a big chain hotel. They should be able to deal with.
Do you know what I mean? It's not difficult, and especially as well that there was a lot of people on the Saturday that wanted breakfast at the same time. So surely, alarm bells should be ringing. That maybe
they've got the bookings in advance. No one came in off the street.
Exactly.
So there's no excuse really from the hotel's part. But then again, it's nothing to do with the event organisers.
Oh no!
They recommended a well-reputed hotel firm to be the recommended hotel. They got us a very, very good price, and then they dropped the ball on it. The hotel dropped the ball on it.
Yeah.
So so we turned up at the venue, and I'm playing Paul Brown, who's from the Harrogate War Games Council, or whatever they call themselves nowadays. So I was speaking to him the night before, and Paul was saying he's going to beat me. Blackguard are going to chop me up, and I'm like, you're not going to see combat. And I should have stuck to that really.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake on deployment. To be fair, I was talking about to Paul after, and Paul didn't mention it. I don't think he spotted what I spotted, but I thought I'd deployed my archers wrong. If I'd put them all on the left flank, there was loads of terrain. They wouldn't have shot out all game, but they'd have all three of them would have survived, and they'd have got 2 table quarters. As it was, I sort of spread them about the centre and the right flank, and then, which is fine while my Dryads are sort of advancing to the middle. But on turns like 4, 5, and 6, once the Dryads are in combat, 2 bolt throwers and the life taker was shooting at him, and he got all the points from the archers. He got half points on one and wiped the other 2 out, which in turn is 3 units that can contest and claim table quarters. And that again, if I'd deployed them on the opposite flank, they didn't do anything all game. They didn't shoot at anything. I think they killed all 3 units of bowmen all game. Killed, I think it was 5 Dark Elf crossbowmen.
Oh dear.
And I was shooting every round as well. But then first few turns, his shooting was poor as well. So I'm not moaning about my dice on the shooting. It's just how it was. Jockeying for position, first few turns. His magic phase was pretty brutal. He had 7 dice, 2 level 2s.
Yeah.
So I'll go through his army. He had a Lord on foot, a BSB on a cold one with a Hydra banner. 2 level 2s, 1 with the Tome and Life Taker, 1 with the Dark Star Cloak and a Scroll. So his magic phase was Blade Wind on 3 dice, Black Hole on 4 dice, which was pretty tough. So once he'd done that for 2 turns, I thought, right, I've got to get into combat. I was safer in combat. So he charged his spearmen, 10 spearmen into the back of...
because he'd got massive spearman span.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll go through the rest of his list. Big Black Guard unit, big spearman unit, 2 units of 10 spearmen. All the units have got full command. Crossbowman unit, again, with full command, 2 bolt throwers, and 6 Cold Run Knights with full command.
Yeah.
The Cold Run Knights wandered down 1.
5 Dark Riders.
5 Dark Riders as well. I forgot them because they did nothing. Yeah. They ran into the dead pile and hid.
Yeah.
Literally, they got into combat with some Wild Riders and then just did nothing else in the game. The Coron Knights wandered down 1 flank. He made a charge at some Dryads, which I thought was clearly out of range, but he must have thought it was closer than he realised, and he went for it. He was only about 1 inch out. That inch was through terrain as well, so about 2 inches, and he got Dryads front and back, so it was there's 1 Dryad dead out of 2 units. So that was 15 Dryads, 30 dice attacking. So I killed 3, which was about right, maybe a bit above average. He killed a couple back, and I broke him. Had a rear outnumber and 3 wounds to his banner and 2 wounds. So yeah, it's quite dicey still.
BSB not in there.
No. BSB was in the blocks. Keep all his characters safe in the black garden. It's hard to get points off.
Mm.
All the spearmen keep fleeing through the black guard, and again, really hard to get points off, especially with wood elves, because once I charge in, I'm there. I can't flee out again.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. So I got my treeman forward. He charged back into the back with some spearmen. So I had both wild run units behind them, and in front of the tree man was another 25 spears. So I thought I could charge my wild riders in the back, and then I will get a pursuit move into the spearmen. But to do that, I had to make sure I didn't kill them all. So I allocated all my attacks against single rank and file members to make sure I didn't wipe out the unit, left some left to flee. The second Wild Rider unit had charged into the spearman block, corner to corner, because that's all I could get because of the combat that was going on. So when the treeman pursued into him, they fought again. I'm thinking, I've got a banner, a war banner, and then I've got 6 strength 5 and 1 strength 3 attacks. I need to kill three spearmen to win the combat. So next round, my Wild Riders attack first. As it was, I killed 2 spearmen with all them strength 5 and 6 attacks, and that meant he could expand and then use his spears in the second round against my Wild Riders. He also charged a unit of Dark Riders in, so he killed all but 1 Wild Rider, which I thought was pretty rough. He had I think it was 8 spearmen attacks and 2 Dark Rider attacks, and I didn't make any saves, and then the tree man ran away. Failed his stubborn test with a reroll this time. Definitely had the reroll. Ran away, got away luckily, but by then he was sort of out of the game, and I was up against it at that point. Really, really up against it. I'd lost a lot of points. He also charged his Hydra Banner BSB into the smaller Wild Rider unit, which I knew he'd do, and I knew it was swapping my small Wild Rider unit for his big spear block. But as it was, I lost both Wild Riders and could have lost the tree man in exchange for nothing. His BSB went in, didn't do a lot, which bit dicey. He's only got 3 attacks. I know he's got hatred and strength 6, but I've got 5 at ward. It doesn't take a lot. I've got banner and outnumber. As it was, I won combat for 2 rounds before his lord charged in and chopped him up. And then his lord and his BSB got stuck fighting war dancers. In the last turn, I put dryads into the side, dryads and a second war dancer unit into the side of his BSB. Still didn't kill his BSB, and I'm thinking, crap, that's the game, because I've just thrown another 300 points into there. And his lord missed all 4 attacks against my war dancers, or our ward saved some, and he lost on the musician, and his lord broke on the last turn. At the same time as that, the tree man ran round, strangle rooted some stuff. The last couple of shots and a magic missile and a couple of bowman shots, like 3 from one unit and 2 from another unit, killed all the crossbow, all the spearmen that was left out of his small unit, and one of the wizards, and a dryad unit killed the remainder of his crossbows. So in my turn 6, I took back about 700 or 800. No, might be close to 1,000 points, but I was getting hammered. I was really down, and in the end, I pulled it back to a draw. And yeah, Paul was up by. Sorry, no, minor loss. Paul was up by 320 points. So minor loss. Minor win to Paul. Very close.
300 for a draw,
and like I say, 3 units of bowmen, or 2.5 units of bowmen, and the table quarters involved. I think that regardless of anything else in the game, it would. I think my deployment might have been wrong.
Yeah.
I thought I could. I thought I'd do enough damage with my bowmen in the middle against lightly armored elves to not matter that the bolt throwers had finished them off by the end, and it just didn't come to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. Paul played it right. He didn't get stuck into any nasty fights. Didn't split his characters up. Didn't split his units up, and just sat and let me come to him, which I had to because of the shooting. Which again, like I say, I overestimated my ability to outshoot him, and yeah, that was that. I'd like to think if we played it again, I could beat it. I think I could beat it 9 times out of 10, but I don't know. It just didn't seem to. I think I had the army to outplay it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Paul played it right. I didn't. I think that's what it came down to. So I think I was a bit cheeky with the allocating the attacks.
Definitely.
So it might have been a bit calmer coming back to get me there. So.
I had the pleasure of Mr. Legg again.
Chris Legg. So it's 5 times this year.
5 tournaments in a row. Yeah. The Masters, Sheffield, Mersey, South Coast, and now here. And the weird thing is, we spoke about it on Saturday. We're having a giggle about it, saying, what game we're going to play. And I says, "I'll tell you what, let's leave it till the morning, when we're both fresh." It's like, okay. So we sat in the restaurant, weren't we? And Fitz came in with the drawer, didn't he?
Yep.
I just couldn't believe it. So I text Leggy, and he's like, "Yeah, I know." So Leggy had a Skaven army, which was a seer, a plague priest chap on a furnace, and a BSB. He had 2 clan rats, 2 slaves, 2 giant rats, 2 rat swarms, big unit of plague monks for the furnace going, Giselles, 6 of with a champion, sense bearers. I think that's it. Oh, a doom wheel. Can't forget the doom wheel.
No.
Yeah, that's about it, I think. And I sort of looked at the table. I think I got to pick table sides, and I looked at it. I thought, you know what? I can't fight it. I can't fight it to the front. The plague furnace will just rip me to bits. Even the giant rats, to a certain extent.
Yeah, they've got a lot of attacks, haven't they? And that guy in the front with a lot of
high strength.
High strength.
I thought he's got a fair chance of going through the boys because he doesn't need to kill many before I'm only got 2 ranks. He's going to outnumber me, I would imagine, because I got very little shooting, and the shooting I did have had to go at the doom wheel or the furnace, so I couldn't whittle them down. I thought the night goblins would go through like Billio. I thought the Black Hawks would be all right, but if I'm ever going to do anything to the furnace, they need to do it. So I thought I'm going to have to be very defensive and use my wyvern to do everything, really. So I looked at the train and thought, right, if I put everything here, he can't get the flanks. Just can't do it. If he does try and come round, I can throw the squig hoppers through a wood to get into his flanks.
Yeah.
And they've got enough attacks there to win combats. Gives me another turn of grace, like. And I thought as well, the squig hoppers can just bounce up against the units.
Yeah.
That are sat there, so they don't have to go forward. And that was working fine. And again, the wyvern sending that out. Chris didn't deploy very well, and he admitted as much afterwards. And to be honest with you, I don't think he played very well either. I don't know if he was hungover or what, but it was. It had 3,000 points written all over it from turn 2 onwards.
Yeah, use up.
Oh, mate, it was ridiculous. The wyvern was just milling about and then using terror to throw things. He put his BSP's unit in a building, which absolutely baffled me. There was no need for it to go in the building.
Yeah, loses all his leadership, doesn't it?
Yeah, he baited the Savage Orcs, and I put the wyvern in a diagonal angle from the Savage Orcs through the building. The BSP terrored, hit the Savage Orcs and died, which panicked the rats off the board next to him, which let the Savage Orcs just run through the Giselles, and they ran through the Giselles and sat there for 3 turns and nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Then what did I do? Turn 1, he double sixed Crack's Call, and I dodged it. Turn 2, he got Warp Gale off, and I scrolled it. Because needed my wyvern to fly. I wanted the wyvern to fly from the building to behind his siege unit, because he positioned his sensor bearers terribly, not protecting the siege unit at all. There was loads of room for him for the wyvern to drop into, and the siege unit was half in and half out of a wood.
Yeah.
And again, nowhere for him to go other than to turn around to face it.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I hadn't planned on charging the front of the siege unit, but it's another terror test. I know they're on 10, but it's there.
He couldn't get the save out of the unit, I suppose, neither, because a terror test on 7 all of a sudden.
Exactly. And then, so I scrolls the Warp Gale, thinking, well, I've got a handful of 5 Dispel dice. He's going to chuck at Crack's Call again. So he throws at Crack's Call, makes the value, doesn't double six it. Throws all 5 of my dice and double ones. And I was a bit peed off, really. That happened in every game other than the Dwarf game.
Yeah.
Every single game, someone chucked 4 dice at a big spell.
And you double one.
And I double one it.
Yeah.
And it was a bit frustrating, really. I wasn't that bothered. I took a risk of doing it, but I sort of thought, well, the wyvern's about 16, 17 inches away. So he's got to roll high. You've got to cast it first.
How far does it go? 3d6?
4d6.
4d6.
Which is average of 14.
Yeah, 14.
So he's got to cast it. I've got to not dispel it. He's got to roll high enough, and then I effectively get a 3-up ward from it.
Yeah.
Because I got initiative 4. Down a hole he went.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. And I was peed off. And that was that was it. That was game. And Leggy knew it was game as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, it wasn't because I mean you were still up, but now it wasn't a massacre.
yeah, the Wyvern would have caused him absolute havoc, especially when
Was the Doom Wheel gone down at this
the
point?
Doom Wheel went down. I think turn 3 or turn 4 from a
Rock
turn
lobber.
3 from a rock lobber. So he had nothing. Do you know what I mean? He had static stuff.
Yeah.
Which frenzied static stuff, which I pulled sideways with the Wolf Riders, put the Black Hawks in the flank, and again, if the Wyvern was still alive,
The Wyvern had gone in as
the
well.
Wyvern had gone in as well. Then the BSB charged the plague sensors in a wood, killing. I think he only had 6, left 1 alive, which I know you can't guarantee impact hits, but 6 of them should be killing all.
Yeah, with the rider as well. And
the rider and the boars get 5 strength 5. There's a strength 4 from the crewman. There's D6 plus 1 strength 5 impact hits. The overrun took me into the Sears unit. So it left 1 alive on a stubborn bloody 15 or something ridiculous. However that works. within 6 of the furnace, and the furnace is within 12 of the general. So they're stubborn on a 10.
Really?
Something like that. Or they're at least stubborn on an 8 from the furnace.
Yeah.
We weren't entirely sure on that, and to be fair, Leggy rolled a 6 or something like that, so it didn't matter. But he was saying like the Sears passes his leadership to the furnace, which adds its ranks, which passes its stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's right. But,
Okay.
But it didn't matter.
I don't know.
It
Listeners?
rolled, yeah, it rolled well low enough anyway. So that was frustrating. In the next turn as well, the Squig Hoppers. Again, he got nothing to answer the Squig Hoppers with by this point. Well, at all, to be honest with you. Excuse me. Fanatic scattered 10 inches straight through them. Killed 6.
Oh.
When they were 9 inches away from the Sears unit.
Again, this Sears under a lot of threat, and he's just riding his luck.
And the thing is as well, just completely riding his luck without even knowing it. The Squigs bounced into the Sears unit, and to be honest with you, I finally got a break, and 1 Squig Hopper killed the Seer. It took a wound from a miscast, and 1 Squig Hopper killed him.
Yeah.
Which, that was good dice, but I think I deserved that by that point.
If 3 Squigs had gone into the turn before.
Oh mate, if the 9 Squigs had gone in, they'd have not only killed the Seer, they'd have broke the unit.
Yeah.
And that was the story of it, really. The Black Hawks just sat there chopping at the furnace, never really going to get there. Tried to pull the BSB back round and put him in, but that didn't do enough. And in the end, I won by 402.
So
which
still a win.
It's a win.
4-1.
Yeah, 4-1, but disappointed because I think I really...
Leggy says to me, I was an idiot, and then I got lucky.
I think I outplayed the life out of him. I was really chuffed with the way that I deployed as well, especially. And I didn't think Chris had an answer to it at all. No. And then he just rolled dice and I took stuff off.
He admitted that. He said that to me after the game, so that was that.
But hey ho, 4-1.
Okay, so going into round 5, normally the last game at this tournament were 6 rounds at this one, so I was quite happy it was 6 rounds as well.
Well, everyone kept coming up to me because I'd steadily been moving up the tables. I think I played Chris on table 5 and in round 4, and then I played Paul in round 5 on table 3. Yeah. And everyone was like, "Oh, you're a shoo-in for this big fish sword." They do it on an average of your position
above the other orc generals.
Above the other orc generals or Empire or whatever you're playing. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're a shoo-in." I'm like, "Well, you're not, because there's still 2 games.
If you lose 2 games, you could be nowhere.
You know, even if you draw 2 games and the other orc players small wins, it alters the percentages massively.
Yeah, of course it does.
But everyone seemed to think I was convinced that I was going to win it. That it was already over, but not quite sure on that myself. But
no. Okay, so in round 4, we were Bad Dice on table 1. That was Adam.
Yep.
Table 2, that was me playing Paul. Table 3, which was you.
No. Round 4, I was on table 5 playing Leggy. Table 4 playing Leggy.
Right, okay, sorry. So it was Adam on 1. I wasn't on 2. I was on 3. You were on 4. Yeah. Martin was on 4 and you was on 5. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Was there 4 tables on the top right?
Yeah, 4.
Ah, right, yeah.
So Adam was 1. There was someone else on 2. It was Russ versus someone on table 2, and then you was on 3, I was on 4, Martin was on 4,
Yeah.
he was on 5. So bad dice were flying at this point.
Yeah.
We were doing really well. So especially Martin just joining the club. So
yeah.
well done to him. And then going into round 5. So I got a minor loss, so I moved down a little bit. Not a lot though, because we were still on a lot of victory points.
Yeah, well, in that one, you were on 5, Martin was on 4, I was on 3, Adam was on 2.
Yeah, so he was up there still. And I came across Mike Newman, who I know him from the tournament scene. I've seen his army. I've chatted about his lovely white high elf army quite numerous times. Well, I'd never played him, so yeah, we rocked up to table 5 high elves with a level 4, a BSB with a bow. So, does he have a bow? Yeah, he's got a bow. Okay, stay away from him. The damn Reaver bow. So the level 4 had a Nullian Crystal, 1 scroll, and
Had the what now?
takes a dispel dice, a power dice off me, and gives it to him as a dispel. So he had 5 dispel and a scroll against my 5 power, which was quite nice. And then he had 2 units of Dragon Princes, 1 unit of Archers, 1 unit of 20 Spearmen, 14 Sword Masters, which didn't do anything all game. He deployed them behind the wood with the BSB in, so he could sort of shoot past the wood without me getting 3 units of bowmen into him.
Yeah.
And I left him there, didn't touch them all game. So if I don't talk about them in the report, that's why. 2 chariots and an eagle. I think that was it. 2 eagles might have been. No, 1 eagle. And he set up, and he was sort of 1 unit on the left flank, 1 unit on the right flank, 1 unit on the left flank, 1 unit on the right flank. You know what I mean? Archers behind the building where they're always going to go. And then he put his white lions on the extreme left with the wizard in. Again, I've got millions of deployments, so I sent the tree man straight after him. He had 2 chariots on the right, which I sort of made a hash of, really. I got my wild riders too close to him, basically, which then meant he could march block me and stop me getting out of charge range. So I had to end up charging 1 to force it away, and then taking the other one in the flank. I lost my small unit of wild riders. It's all my own fault. I had no reason to do anything about it.
At least you're admitting it.
Yeah. And I lost the unit. All I could do, it came to the fact that I reckon if I might have been able to get out of the way of one, fanning about a bit, but in the end, it seemed smarter to charge 1. He's got to flee because it was close where I was in. And as it turned out, we measured it before he moved his flee. And I'd have been in through that and into the back of a Dragon Prince unit, which again, it's not strike first with 10 attacks. It's not dead set, but you're not happy either. And if he fails his fear test, he's in a world of pain.
Oh, yeah.
So he had to flee, which he fled a mile, didn't rally, went through a bolt thrower, 6 impact hits, only did 1 of the crew in. So he got lucky there. Well, he got maybe not, maybe
averaged.
Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have fled. He shouldn't have rallied. He should have rallied maybe, but either way. So my thinking was, he leaves the second chariot to go in the flank. If he pursues me, he shouldn't kill all 5. Again, 5 at ward. If he pursues me, he's going through terrain, and that's what happened. He pursued me, caught me, but destroyed himself on terrain. So 1 wild rider unit got rid of both chariots in the end. So I'll say I made a hash of it, but I seem to think I think I could have got rid of them both without losing the wild riders, but I don't know. 2 Dragon Prince units just came straight up the centre and caused me no end of problems. I positioned the tree man, and I was being a bit greedy with the tree man's movement, really. I positioned him so I was just blocking the corner of him, and I thought I was blocking 2, but I wasn't. But I didn't want to go too far over because I wanted to go back to the left next turn, so I went as minimum as possible. When I had loads of room to just stand in front of him. So when I strangled killed 1, it left him room to go past. I thought I'd positioned it better than that. I hadn't. That was a mistake because once they were passing me, I had then the choice of turning around and going after him or carrying after the level 4. And I thought, they're going to kill a couple of units of Dryads. That's it. Forget about them. They caused no end of problems. In the end, there were protracted combats going on with Dragon Princes fighting Dryads to the front, and it was just dicey. Whether every time I thought I'd got him, and he needed to do a wound with his horse or his double 1 in it, he did a wound with a horse, and this went on for like 4 rounds of combat. And the tree man was making his plod towards the level 4, just straight towards it. Archers were on a hill shooting it. The unit of white lions with a level 4 in, and all the time I couldn't get my units out of the way of the Dragon Princes. So if he'd have broke me, pursued the dryads, and then got another charge. It was game over. You know what I mean? It was really bad. He was up by a lot. He put me under a lot of pressure. The bolt thrower, one of the bolt throwers that could see the tree man had gone, hit, wound, failed the ward, 2 wounds. Next one goes, hit, wound, failed the ward, 2 wounds. And I mean, you said during the game, you heard a big shout from our table. It was like turn 4, and I finally made a ward save somewhere, and it was really that bad. And it's like, I didn't think I played bad. I made that one mistake with the tree man. The Wild Riders, I don't know. I made a hash of it, I think, but I got both chariots, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But then it's just like nothing was happening. The Dryads were getting beaten up by Dragon Princes after I'd got the charges and whatnot. So, I don't know. And then it's like turn 4, it all turned around. I got the movement spell off on the tree man eventually. It finally gone through. I think I'd miscast one, and then he'd scrolled one, and then he'd diced me, and it finally went off. And I rolled 12 on my distance. So the tree man had moved 5 inches.
Wow.
He went 12 on his distance. I think 11 might have got in, but it was close. 10 certainly wouldn't. 12 was in. Can't flee because it's the Wood Elf magic spell. White Lion strike first. I've got 2 wounds left. He does 2 wounds to me. I finally met my ward save. That was the shout. Yeah, ward save. Dear. And then Splat kills the level 4. He fails his stubborn test. He's immune to fear and terror. Got the banner on him. Fails his stubborn test. They run. I roll another 11 to just get into the bolt thrower, which was 2 bolt throwers could then see me ready to gun me down, but because the White Lions did 1 wound, so I had 1 wound left, into the bolt thrower, and smash that. Same turn, both Dragon Prince's units went, and that was like 1,000 points, and that was the game. And to be fair, Mike played really well. He probably didn't deserve the big swing at the end, and it was only a minor win. I only won by about 350 points. I took that many points towards the end, and I got his spearman block the last couple of turns with him having no magic. Oh, no, sorry, I didn't. I reduced him to half. I got the tree man in the flank of him and did some wounds and just reduced to half, but he passed his break test.
Yeah.
And that was that. I think once his level 4 and both the Dragon Princes had gone down, he just backed off. So... But that's all he lost. Level 4, both Dragon Princes, the 2 chariots, and half the spears. The bolt thrower. And I lost both Wild Riders. Oh, the Wild Riders. He'd moved his he'd moved his White Lions forward, and he'd angled them to the centre of the table so he could Heaven's Magic units on the opposite side of the board. And I thought, made a mistake there. I can get my Wild Riders up the side of him. So I could see the bolt thrower, and he can't get anything in between me. 2 bolt throwers and the unit of archers at long range killed all 6 Wild Riders, which, again, with 5 at ward, I thought, that's a bit rough. The one at short range did 5 wounds to me.
Yeah, I've had I had a bit of that in my game as well.
Yeah, so that was, a minor win to me, which I was ecstatic with in the end.
Yeah.
It was a great game. It was swings both ways, and we had a right laugh. So, yeah, thanks to Mike for that one. And he would have been my best sports up to that point. However, the last game was a bit special as well. So... So your game 5.
I also played Paul Brown with his Dark Elves. Again, similar to the game against Leggy, really. I looked at it, I thought the Blackguard will just walk forward and kill me without even trying, to be honest. So he tried to use a bit of difficult ground, trying to keep him off me. Wyvern again went out wide. The Cold One Knights... I figured that he'd have the Hydra banner on the BSB. The magic setup, it's obvious what he's got, isn't it? When you say, has anyone got a crossbow? Yeah, this wizard, right, yo. And one of them rolls 3 spells. It's like, yeah. I figured the Hydra banner, not too surprising, seeing as everything else was banned.
Because I'd just played him, but I hadn't told you at this point.
Again, seeing as everything else is banned.
Well, you came over and said, I'm playing Paul Brown, and then wandered off before I'd even said it, you know what I mean? So it's not like you'd been prepped.
No. The Lord, what did he say the Lord had? Did the Lord have Crimson Death, was it?
Yeah, he had the Crimson Death, and I don't really know what else, because it didn't come into it. I assume it's the regen armour, but I don't know.
Oh no,
he had heavy armour Sea Dragon Cloak.
Black Amulet, I think it was.
Might have been.
I think it was a Black Amulet. But yeah, the Cold One Knights were going to be a bit of a problem because he put the BSB in there, and I figured, well, they're going to. I thought they might struggle with going through the blocks, especially given the fact that I knew I'd have sort of 3 rounds of shooting at them.
Yeah.
So I thought if I can get rid of 3 or 4 of them, then I'll be all right. I also figured that the fanatic, my little one fanatic,
Might do the trick.
well,
Might be a good boy.
I'd got it planned so that when he charged, the charge move would get him with an 8, and I'd fling it in front of him.
In front of your unit.
In front of my
he
unit, so he's
stops
got
on
to
it.
stand on it. I thought, to be fair, Paul saw this coming and threw the Dark Riders forward to get rid of it. While this was happening, the Wyvern went out wide, trying to avoid the bolt throws as best as he could. But then I had the opportunity in the second turn to charge the Wyvern to the flank of because he'd shoved the Cold Ones right forward.
Yep.
I had to put the Wyvern in the flank and the Goblin Hero charge out as well.
So he couldn't flee because you'd run him down.
Yeah, well, he did flee.
Oh, right, okay.
To be honest, if he hadn't fled, the Wyvern would have gone across and had probably been in the flank of the Blackguard.
With the overrun.
I don't know if I'd have gone into them, to be honest with you.
You might not have pursued.
I might have just stopped an inch away.
You can't on overrun.
Can you not?
No. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, then I'd have had to go into him then. But he chose to flee, and the wolf ran him down, which left the Wyvern.
Did he see that? Did he knew the wolf would get him? Because you said over the weekend you got a few people.
I got a few people. I don't know. I don't think he saw it when he pushed them forward. When I said that's charging and that's charging,
he knew then.
He knew what was coming,
and he fled to save the Blackguard taking the flank.
Yeah. And also as well, I think he rolled like an 8 or a 9, and if he'd have gone a 10 or 11, it'd have probably got away.
Yeah.
So he sort of took the chance, but bit silly really pushing him forward. And he said this at the end. The chariot stayed behind the hill for as long as it possibly could.
Yeah.
Again, the bolt throws.
It come out on the turn the Wyvern went.
Came out on the turn that the Wyvern went, yeah, because I knew then that he got his spearman in the middle of the board that he put the BSB into, because he'd rapidly realised that the Cold Ones weren't going to make it.
No.
So the BSB had gone into the spearman. Cold Ones had come forward. So I've got the Wyvern stood there looking at the spearman. At sort of 90 degrees to that was the chariot that had come over the hill, ready to rumble into the side of them. And I'm sat there thinking, well, all he's got is 2 bolt throwers. He's got to do a lot of work to get rid of these. And I looked at it, I thought, right, if the Wyvern goes in the front and the chariot goes in the side, he can't flee, because then everything smashes into the fucking Blackguard.
Yeah.
And he's not. If the chariot does well, he's not surviving that. And plus, again, it's a ruckload of panic tests on his stuff. So the bolt throwers let loose. 1 bolt thrower shoots, doesn't really do anything.
Single bolt, long range.
No, he multi-shot.
Multi-shot.
Yeah, which, to be honest, we were discussing, like, what's the best.
I think against the Wyvern, I'd go multi-shot because it's toughness 5.
It's toughness 5, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's a good chance he's going to kill the Wyvern. 12 shots, 2s to hit.
It's got 5 wounds.
5. Even so, there's a better chance. There's a good chance. There's not a bad chance of it. Certainly leaving it on 1 wound. You know what I mean?
With either of them, you shouldn't be killing the Wyvern.
No.
To be honest, with either of them, you shouldn't be killing anything.
No.
So the first one shot and did nothing. The second one shot and killed the Lord.
Yeah.
Stone dead. 6 hits, 5 on the Lord, 5 wounds, 3 wounds, no saves.
Nice.
And I was like, I was really annoyed because, again, I think I'd deployed well and I'd played the first couple of turns really well.
And you got in position to take the game.
I'd played to the strengths of the Orcs. I'd been quite defensive with it, knowing for a fact that I can't go toe to toe with a Blackguard. It just can't happen. And dice had robbed me again. So the Wyvern went in and the chariot went in on the next turn, and just
Chariot was in the flank as well.
Chariot was in the flank.
5,
unit strength
rank breaker.
Yeah.
So you had a flank, a BSB.
Yeah.
Plus 2 impact hits.
D6 impact hits. 5 attacks from strength 5 from the chariot. 3 strength 6 from the Wyvern. And it did nothing. I think I killed like 3 elves. Ridiculous.
And he held.
Eventually broke me. The Blackguard went in. Because the Squig Hoppers had bounced into the front of the Blackguard.
Yeah.
I'd done that knowing that if I didn't make it far enough, I'd be close enough to him that he wouldn't be able to come around me.
Yep.
He'd have to sort of reform effectively where he was. He had nothing really that that could have shot me without again reforming a lot of his army to give him line of sight. I thought if I hit them, I'm going to kill a ruck of them because obviously there's no strike first banner.
No.
He's then going to have to pursue me out of the game, really, because I thought at the time that the Wyvern of the Chariot would go crash straight through the Spearman and be elsewhere by the time the Blackguard have ran forward. Squighoppers went in and did the job, killed a load and broke, and he ran down. But the Chariot and the Wyvern stuck. So.
And he got there eventually with the Blackguard.
But yeah, because the Blackguard ran the Squigs down, he could spin them round and go into the flank of the Chariot and kill him, break the Wyvern. Wyvern didn't rally and went off the board. The Blackhawks panicked from the Wyvern breaking and rallied on the table edge in turn 6.
Yep.
And in the end, it was a draw. Paul was up by 97 points.
Yeah, so I mean, I was watching the last few turns of this as well, and it was just like, oof, not good.
I felt very hard.
For you when
Yeah, I felt very hard done by that. I mean, I had a little bit of luck with his he double one wizard, double one, and then a spider rider killed the other.
Oh,
when they'd passed 2 panic tests from Magic Missile and Life Taker.
Yeah,
which I suppose is probably a bit lucky. But I thought killing the Wyvern was very lucky.
Yeah.
Killing the Lord, was very lucky.
And he needed it as well.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, and he knew it as well.
Yeah.
I think he's put his report up on TWF today saying effectively that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But it was a really good game, and it's the first time I've played Paul as well.
Yeah.
I've seen him about a bit. And,
I've seen him about a lot, talked to him at tournaments, and I enjoyed my game against him.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into round 6, back on the top row. Now, in game 5, I was on the second row, and Dan Elam was on the next table to me. I sort of looked over at the start. I saw I'm up against High Elves, he's against Dark Elves, but I think the guy with the Dark Elves, I thought Dan was dead set to beat him, and I thought, quite confident against this High Elf army, should get a big win. Probably going to play Dan. As it was, I only got a small win, so Dan actually jumped over me in the standings, I think, but not by enough to play the next person above. So we ended up playing each other, and going into the game, I rolled the terrain. Dan won the table sides. Pointed at the one with the wood and said, "I'm going there," and then straight at the wood.
Not I'm going
straight
that
at the
side.
wood.
I'm going in that piece of terrain.
Yeah, and it didn't really, to be honest. So deployment again. I've got 1 million deployments, which is just brilliant. I thought Dan made a slight mistake with putting a Pterodon unit in the open on his baseline, right on his baseline. So my last deployment was a unit of archers. As soon as he did it, I thought, right, archers going opposite them. Can't put them down yet, though, because he'll put something in front of him. As it was, that was my last deployment, and there's nothing between me and the Pterodons. And it forced him, when he won the roll for first turn, to take it. Instead of me, beeping then from the phone, I think. Yeah, it forced him to take it instead of... I don't know if he'd have took it anyway, but that sort of forced his hand rather than thinking about the rest of the situations. Whereas if he'd deployed him directly behind a wood, he wouldn't have had that issue, you know what I mean? I also thought he deployed a unit of Source Croxigors on the extreme left flank and a character behind him. And he said that was because he wanted to sort of control that flank, because when he's played me with my Wood House before, I've gone up either side with Dryads and Wild Riders, and he's sort of been surrounded and boxed in. But I don't know, maybe he's right, because that whole flank then had nothing in it except for that Skink Crocs unit. I just left it alone. I put some stuff down there. He put a second source unit sort of halfway on that half of the table. And then as he came down, I just faded through the terrain, kept away from it. So the first turn actually, he ran forward with a stag, miscast, because I said to him, disappointed that I didn't get the first turn, because I thought I'd have got your scroll out of you on turn 1. And Dan was like, you think? I was like, yeah, I reckon so. I reckon I could have 5-dashed Beast Cowers and, you know what I mean, forced you to use a scroll to get your characters moving or to get your steg moving. And Dan was like, oh, maybe. Anyway, he starts moving forward, starts his magic phase, miscasts his last spell, gives me a spell, and I'm like, okay, move the tree man out of my free wood straight towards your steg. No, we'll have a scroll on that. Told you. So I said, you know what, Dan, I'm going to do it anyway. Run the tree man straight at you. I've got a movement spell. if I don't get it off, you've got a choice of giving it the old Zulu Dawn with 10 million
Yeah.
shots into the tree man, which isn't dead set on killing him, or you got to charge him with the ancient steg, which the way I'd done it was wild riders in the back, dryads in the side. If he'd have gone in, then I'd have held. So I took my 5 dice for a movement spell, 6, couple of 2s, couple of 3s. Oh well, balls in hand, Heartstone, reroll one of them 2s, another 6, in we go. And I also, the main reason I re-rolled it was because I knew he had no scroll. So if I just rolled like a 4 or a 5, it just bumps it up by a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, a 6, in he went, and he did 3 wounds to me. And I thought, I'm in a lot of bother now, because I was expecting it to be there forever, whereas I thought now, as soon as a Scar Veteran comes in, he's going to kill me, and I'm gone. Whereas I thought Scar Veteran could come in, and we're still going to be there for a few turns. I might still get the steg. As it was, I was worried the steg and the Scar Vet would kill him and be through without losing. He wouldn't lose either. I'd have lost my tree man for a turn's grace. So then the Beast Cowards came out and stopped his Scar Veteran getting in 3 turns in a row.
Did you was that double 6 any of them, or was it just
I think
dice?
Double 6'd one, and the other 2 were dice. Ooh. I'm not sure if Dan double 1'd one, or I do know I rolled high. But again, it's dice versus dice, 5 versus 5, and it also meant that my tree sing was going off because it's 5 versus 5, and then I've got a bound. So, there's that. I mean, it happens. You know what I mean? You know what it's like with Beast Cowards and 5 dice. It's tough.
Oh well, like I say, I've had it all weekend where I've been chucking 5 dice to dispose stuff and double 1 every time.
So I was picking off units. I think I'd got a Pterodon unit. I got 2 Pterodon units. I made a mistake with one. He'd come into a wood, and I'd shot a unit. I'd shot the only unit that I think I shot a unit of 5 men at him, which had killed 1 man. When I had 20 more bowmen that could have shot and been. Oh, sorry, I had a full 10 bowmen which could have shot and done more damage, and then the 5 man could still see him regardless. Whereas because I shot the 5 man first, he took 1 casualty out. The others couldn't see, so that was my own fault. I made a mistake with that. It left 1 Pterodon alive, which flew away. But I got that from long range later on. I think Dan, I don't know, he positioned it. I don't think he saw me shooting right across his lines into it. It was like 29 inches away. Managed to kill it. So that was a few points there. Just the second unit. He came out and bombed. I says, look, I'm going to put Wild Riders there. Come and bomb them. It's like, it's up to you if you want to. I want you to bomb them because I think you'll do half points. And I can shoot your Pterodons dead, and it means you're not bombing my War Dancers. And Dan was like, yeah, whatever. I'll bomb them. I'll redirect you. I'll flee through the woods. So that's pretty much what happened. Chased him off. Then I moved right into the forest, right near him. Because he was tempted. He wasn't sure what had happened. I said, I'm just going to go around the back here. And he's like, well, you lose them. He's like, well, we'll see. He's like, oh, okay, we'll do it then. See what you actually do with them. And I did. I went around the back of him into a forest, and I did lose them in the end, but felt a bit hard done by. I think it was 1 unit of chameleons, like, wiped them out or something. Or what? So 2 units of skinks, one normal unit and 1 chameleon unit, wiped all 6 out. So that was a bit rough. But I did get a unit of skinks dead and got the Pterodons eventually. No, I didn't get the Pterodons. That Pterodon unit didn't die. It managed to rally, but I felt a bit hard done by. But it did mean he was going backwards with the skinks instead of coming forward and causing me more problems with my archers and stuff. I don't know. It was a bit tit for tat. At that point, the steg had finally gone down because I'd managed to beast cows the Scar Veteran. I'd lost not a lot really. I'd lost the Wild Riders. I'd lost half a small unit of War Dancers which he'd bombed, and half a unit of Dryads, and then you know what I mean. That was it. I got half on the tree man which he'd done straight away. I'd lost bugger all points, and I was starting to pick off bits and bobs. And then on turn 6, Dan had I'd managed to get all the skinks fleeing, and he was rallying them and just fleeing and rallying them, but they weren't causing a lot of bother. I was struggling to get the points, and then Dan blew his slan up. And then on my turn 6, I think it was his turn 5. He blew the slan up. So he had 1 more magic phase to come at me, which may or may not. I don't think Dan had got any more points at me, but obviously I got a lot of points for that. And then because I was going last, because I thought my deployment had forced that, I then got to charge all his skinks again, which chased all them off. Obviously can't rally. I also got to shoot 3 units of bowmen into his Saurus warrior unit at short range to drop a table quarter. So then I got 2 table quarters in his general, the Steg, the Slan, 3 or 4 units of Skinks, half unit of Saurus. It all adds up, and in the end I got 1,368 points. 445 of them was from the Slan. So without the Slan, it was 900 versus 500. With the Slan, it was an 862 point win. So Dan took it well. Got my best sports as well. Had a great game against him. Really tactical. I'd have been interested to see how it ended because, like I say, I don't think he'd got any more points off me. He might have done if he'd got a big magic missile through or something like that. But I mean, I ended the game with I only used 1 scroll, so I don't know. It would have been to be seen. I had a lot of luck with the beast cows. That Scar veteran probably should have got into the tree, but like I say, I went for it. I thought it's a victory points tournament. Shove the tree man out.
Yeah, definitely.
Put some pressure on and see what happens. I'd be interested to know what he'd have done if I'd have not got the movement spell off, whether he'd have shot me or charged me. I think he'd have shot me.
I think he'd have shot
he'd have shot me. But I don't think he'd have killed me. But he'd have put a hole in it.
Was the Steg ancient?
Yeah, with double blowpipe.
Double blowpipes.
Yeah.
A lot of shots.
Wouldn't have had to move neither. He'd have been in on 3s. Obviously poison as well. But I don't know. I'd like to play it again. But yeah, that put me in a good stead because, well, we'll go with your last game and then, which will be a short one, I imagine, and then we'll do the results.
I played Clemens Bauer. Don't know if he's related to Jack, but we can't hope. Austrian fella who's studying in Glasgow, I think he said. Can't remember what he said he was doing. He had a lizardman. He had a Slan, 2 mounted Scarvets, 3 blocks of Saurus, 3 skink units, 2 pterodon units, a single salamander, a stegodon, and that was it really. 2 pterodons, say that?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 pterodons. And again, I kind of thought I'm going to have to be quite defensive again because the 3 blocks of Saurus, I didn't really fancy them versus boys.
No, not really.
The amount of strength 4 attacks coming out.
It's spears, isn't it?
They had spears, yeah. So there's a lot of attacks coming there. So I thought there was a build in. I thought I'll use that and sort of try and jump through it and hop around it. While again flying the wyvern around, sort of scaring shit and charging stuff. So I had that planned out quite nicely. Of having the wyvern able to charge off into a unit of Saurus with the character in and 3 characters around him. Obviously helps with shaggers. The BSB had a charge on, I think, a Scarvet on his own. I'm not sure. No, Skinks with an overrun into the Saurus unit if it had held. I mean, I didn't expect him to hold, to be honest with you. And then I had the Savage Little Ball Boys being able to just be able to move forward and hold stuff off me. But then the turn I called a wire, they died. All of them. Made the Rock Lobber run off the board from panic. Killed 1 Spider Rider and 1 Wolf out of the unit so they couldn't move. It was just bad again.
Yeah.
Animosity fucking me. He fled with his Saurus that the wyvern had charged. Then when he came to rally, rolled a 6-5-5. I was like, you're off. I was like, musician.
Oh, no.
Damn it. Meanwhile, the Skinks just sort of dotted about a bit. What did a wound? Something did a wound to the Scarvet. I think it was the Doom Diver.
Yeah.
I think. He failed. No, it couldn't have been. I've got no idea what did a wound to him.
Something did a wound to him.
Something did a wound to him. Oh, it was Stomp. That was it.
All right, you got it off. 2 6s.
Yeah, that was it. 2 6s. Did a wound to him. Failed his armour. Failed his Tool Ward from the first wound. And then he charged the chariot. And I thought, I don't really fancy the Scarvet into the chariot. Just kill the BSB and then run the chariot down. So I fled with the chariot, threw a unit of pterodons and off the board.
Pterodons weren't unit strength 5 then?
No.
All right.
No, the pterodons were on the board edge. I wanted to run through them,
Oh, right, you knew you was going to die.
Knew I was going to die. I thought I'll go through them, do the impact hits.
Yeah.
I figured I can get to kill 2 pterodons, and he's got a test out of the slan. As it happened, it was 6 impact hits, and Clements just took them off.
Yeah.
And I mean, in fairness, I rolled the dice and I killed them all. I figured that was a decent swap because the Scar Vector just killed me.
It'd kill you, run you down for no return.
Then what happened?
Charge the unit again.
Charge the unit again, which probably, thinking about it, was a mistake.
Got a bit of a lob on.
I've got to be honest. Yeah, basically.
You told me, you came over and I said, what happened? He's like, well, you carry on with the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, it went in, killed the champion for a bazillion again because 3 characters around him. He lost by 3, passed his break test. Then he put the slan in the back, skinks in the back, and then challenged with the slan, which I was kind of surprised at.
For a little while.
Well, even so, I was still surprised at, even when it turned out he had regenerate. So he's got 2 4 wards. But I've got a lot of attacks.
Well, when you described it to me, I was like, what happened? He's like, oh, his slan made 10 ward saves and 14 ward saves or something. And I was like, fair enough, bit rough. And then when you've calmed down a bit, explain it in detail, sounds to me like you charged the unit, he held a bit of combat rest, so you're never going to break him. And then he got +2 for a rear. The slan's battle standard is 3.
Yeah.
Outnumbers 4. Unit standards 5. If you've got 3 characters nearby, you get 10 attacks. You know what I mean? You're hitting on 3s, you're only getting 6 or 7 hits. You're wounded on 2s, you're only probably going to do 6 wounds. It's not that shocking for you to do nothing.
No,
losing by 5.
You're right.
Even if you do 2, you're losing by like 3 or 4.
But
on leadership 9.
But it's the amount of wounds that he saved.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I did 3 to the slan, which I thought, while it was all sort of collapsing around me, wasn't the end of the world because I picked up a few points. I thought half the slan, but he stole a wound.
Yes.
So he had 6, and then he took 3, and I'm at the end. I'm like, that doesn't work. Surely, I've done 3 wounds to him. He's only got 5. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was rubbish.
Yeah. So it all fell apart once the Wyvern went down.
Once the Wyvern
got combat resed out eventually.
Yeah, the Wyvern got combat resed out. And then pretty much everything went into hiding mode on his part. The slan magic missile to Night Goblins. First magic missile, yeah, you can do that. 6. Arse. Kills 5. Second magic missile, I double one as a dispel again. And I'm having a little chunter to myself while this is happening. And he obviously speaks English, but doesn't really understand me.
Not many do.
No, so he's sort of looking at me and going, I'm like, no, you carry on, don't worry about it. I'm just chatting to myself. And he double sixes the fucker, doesn't he? So he's
like 10
18
goblins.
hits on Night Goblins in one magic phase.
Yeah, that's a bit rough.
They panicked off the board. And then the infantry blocks were just dancing around each other. And infantry versus infantry
is boring.
Is shit. He got two Unisaurus. I'd got my boys and my Black Orcs, and he also got a Steg. And it's like, move a bit, so that if they charge and I flee, I then flank. And he's doing the same thing. And it's just crap. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Hopefully the new edition.
Should sort that
out. And in the end, I got my ass handed to me. I lost by 944. Which is pretty bad. I only scored 480 victory points.
Yeah. Bit rough.
Yeah.
Probably cost you a lot in the end.
Yeah, it really did. Putting the Wyvern in was silly.
Stupid thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey ho.
Yeah, well, that's that. So, okay. On to the winners. So we'll do it in the order they've been displayed on the website because that's nice and easy for me. So first place was Best Army. First thing we'll do is Best Army Player's Choice. Brett Wilkie's Lizardmen.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a nice list.
I voted for this.
Army, brightly coloured, some lovely basing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been improving it every tournament, painting as he goes, and it does look really, really nice. So congrats to him.
To be fair, there was a lot of nice armies. I mean,
yeah, there was.
I got a lot of compliments from my Orcs, but there was Tim Cronenberg, there was Neil Peckett, and there was Wayne Kemp Skaven. that were all there, which have all won awards in the past and are very nice. The one thing that's put me off them is the old clan rats.
What, Tim's?
All of them, all three of them have got the old clan rats, and they
right.
look a little dated now.
Fair enough.
Especially now that some of them have used the new clan rats for like weapons teams and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that put me off them slightly because, like I say, I voted for Brett. There was Dan's lizards. There was Russ's vampires. What else was good there?
Can't remember
I
offhand.
think that was about it for the really
good ones. There's lots of nice stuff.
There was lots of nice stuff. There was a really cool Skaven army made out of like lots of defiler bits, which was all kind of skied up, which was nice. Issues
Warriors of Chaos. Yeah, they were really nice.
Very, very cool.
I tell you what, Andy Smith's Warriors of Chaos as well were quite nice. I quite like them.
The purple one's quite
purple
bright.
And pink and white, yeah. So, okay, so there's another best army, which was the judges' choice this time, and that was Wayne Kemp's Skaven. So, as we said, it's a really nice Skaven army, and I can see why it wins stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good.
A Hellpit Abomination that must be a foot tall.
Yeah, it's brilliant. True line of sight in the next edition. It's going to love that.
God, no.
Okay, so best sportsman, Bernard Lewis. It's a fix, we said, because Chez's mate. Chez got to give his best sports to one of his good mates, so that was nice. But yeah, Bernard, apparently all his opponents give him best sports or something like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Quite impressive there. Tool of the tournament was Greg Dan for submitting his South Coast GT list with 2,250 points. He wasn't actually playing with it, though. He just handed the wrong bit of paper in, so that was all right. Biggest ego award went to myself. So Matt
Funny
Sewell,
that, isn't it?
one of the guys at the tournament, had nipped out on one of the days and picked up a trophy which says biggest ego award, and it's a little shield with turned into a man who punched his fist in the air with my name printed on it as well, so he'd come prepared. So
Is there any reason he did that?
No, he's just thought he'd torment me. He thought he'd take the piss out of me, but it just makes me worse.
Yeah,
I get to go up for a trophy twice. Okay, so best general went to Jake Courtine with his Dark Elves, and it was quite a nice Dark Elf.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was. He looks like the Messiah.
He certainly does.
To play Warhammer.
I tell you what, though, he sat on table 1 for 5 out of 6 games.
Yeah.
So he's doing something right.
Yeah, beat Adam Hall in Sunday morning when he played Adam. And yeah, he's doing something very, very right. So it was a Dark Elf Lord on foot, 2 units of Corsairs and a block of Spearmen. In fact, it wasn't even a Lord, it was a Master. Master on foot, a Master BSB on foot, and an Assassin. So 1 character in each block, and then just some bits and bobs, you know what I mean? Nothing too nasty. So the best generals, so Dark Elves was Jake. Vampire Counts went to Russ Veal. Warriors of Chaos to Andy Smith. I picked up the Wood Elves one. Owen Bell with the Empire. Lizardmen went to Clements Bauer. Demons of Chaos went to Adam Hall. Skaven went to Chris Legg. Tomb Kings to Michael Biggs. Orcs and Goblins to Ben. High Elves to Keith Wilkinson. Dwarfs to Andrew Russell. Beasts of Chaos to Hugh Allen. Bretonians to Justin Reed. And Ogre Kingdoms to Richard Hogan. And the big prize that they're handing out, as you've probably heard, we've not given out a first place. So the big prize that got given out, the overall champion of the tournament, was the player who finished. How does it work?
As far as I understand, they take an average of all of your opponents, all of your fellow orc players, or they do this for every race, and it's whoever finishes the highest percentage above that average.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, so Andy Russell was about 130% of the race average.
Yeah.
135.9, I think it was. And then Russ was very close, and I was very close as well. But, yeah, Andy snatched it, so congratulations to him. It was quite fitting, really, because it was quite a friendly tournament, more relaxed atmosphere, and it was a guy who's only ever been to 2 tournaments, done quite well with his dwarfs, and he picks up the big sword, and so he looked ever so happy, didn't he?
He did look a little bit chuffed.
We had a bit of an interview with him on the Snake Eyes section bonus content, so you can hear him on there. He has a chat with us about his dwarfs. So yeah, that was Tempest Rising. So thank you very much to the organisers and to Darren and his bar service girls for looking after us over the weekend. So yeah, we had a grand old time, and what do you think? You going back or?
I don't think I'd go back under that comp.
No, I didn't personally like the rules pack. I had a great weekend. Loved the event.
I had a good weekend with
my mates.
Yeah.
But I prefer a different type of Warhammer to that.
Yes.
But yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone who does like that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was a well-run event. The venue, bit ropey at times, but holds a lot of promise for when it's actually finished. Like I say, it's not actually open yet. The store's not open during the day and things like that. So when it does open, it should be all done up and a lot better. So feel free to visit them. Okay, anything else you want to add about Tempest?
No.
Okay, we're going to have another break and we're going to come back and wrap up the show.
Hey dudes, just want to take a minute to tell you about the next big thing in wargaming. Rankings HQ is the new home for not only rankings across all game systems, but the latest social networking site for gamers around the world, including articles, image galleries, and heaps more. Create an account, track your personal progress, and compare results amongst friends and other gamers worldwide. Think you're the best gamer in town? Prove it at rankingshq.com. Join today.
Okay, back again, last break, and just going to wrap up the show. Going to make it quick because it's been a good 2.5 hour episode. Good in-depth look at the tournament, which we've had. Last time we did a long review of a tournament was the South Coast, and we had some good feedback from that. So yeah, if you like this sort of thing, let us know. Feel free to email us at thebens@baddice.co.uk. So before we go, just a few bits and bobs. First off, the Bad Dice website's been totally overhauled, so get yourself on there and have a good look at it. I'm going to start treating it a bit more like a blog as well as just a website for a podcast, so all the news and latest comings and goings are going to go up on the site. I've been using Facebook to do that for the past 6 to 8 months, so I'm going to start doing it on all the news on the website, a link to the article on Facebook, so you can still keep up with the news on Facebook. So feel free to follow us there because you'll find out when the blog's getting updated. So yeah, check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Bad Dice. Thanks to our sponsors. So Madfly Art Studios, Unseen Lurker, Rankings HQ, and of course Og Games. Thanks to them guys supporting us as ever. Anything else you want to throw up, Ben? Oh, we've got the iPhone app, haven't we?
Oh yeah, iPhone app.
Yeah, check out the iPhone app. You can go on the Bad Dice website. You'll see a big image that can link to that. Just go and click on that if you want to have a look at the more details of it on the iTunes store. Yeah, other than that, I don't know.
Snake Eyes members, let us know your Rankings HQ number.
There's also a widget on the website now, so all Snake Eyes members can go on Rankings HQ, find the Bad Dice Snake Eyes Club, and sign up to the club. Once you remember that club on Rankings HQ, you'll be displayed your ranking position on the Bad Dice website. The top 10 are always displayed. Gav Clark is leading the field at the moment, unfortunately. I've been talking to him about that today, so well done to Gav. Thanks for signing up, matey. Talking of Snake Eyes, we did about 45 minutes worth of recording at the weekend, so that show's going to be going up later this week. I also did an hour and 15-minute chat with Charles Black about how to make yourself a better Warhammer general, which, strange as it may seem, he's got some really, really good ideas. He wrote an article about it many years ago, like 5 years ago, and we just had a look at that article, a bit of a refresher about it, and how it still applies, and how the stuff that's in the article is edition spanning, and it doesn't matter whether you're playing 40k, Fantasy, War Machine, whether you're playing 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th edition, it doesn't matter. The stuff in there is just general tips and tactics and some really, really good stuff. So, yeah, get yourself signed up to the Snake Eyes section. It's baddice.co.uk/Snake Eyes. You can sign up there and have a look at these bonus content recordings. So I think that's it for another episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Bad Dice Podcast. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Ben and Ben Productions. If you actually enjoyed the show and feel the need to tell other people about it, you can leave a positive review on iTunes. You can contact both your hosts at thebens@baddice.co.uk, or you can contact us individually on Ben Curry at baddice.co.uk or Ben Johnson at baddice.co.uk. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Bad Dice Podcast.